is a baseball fairy tale for the 1990s. 49,000 fans coming in to Camden Yards, another sellout crowd. This magnificent monument to America's love affair with baseball has the Philadelphia Phillies closing out their first ever interleague series against the Baltimore Orioles. Coming up next. And hi again, everybody. With Kent DeCovey, I'm Larry Rosen. Welcome to Sports Channel's presentation of Phillies baseball. Game number 9 of the Phillies experiment with interleague play. And while the results haven't been great on the field, Teague, it's been a fascinating season largely due to this interleague play. Well,
it is, Larry, and the fact that you get to see some teams that you don't normally get to see because of the interleague play. I think one of the misfortunes for the Phillies, having a scuffling year like they are, that they have to go across leagues, go to the American League Eastern Division, and today we get to see the best team not only in the American League East, not only in the American League, but record-wise the best team in baseball. And some tremendous players individually we don't get to see: Palmeiro, Alomar, and of course that guy by the name of Ripken, whose streak just continues and his play has lived up to it. Yeah, Larry, he's he's a monument to the game of baseball, and I think the thing that's most amazing to me about Cal Ripken is the fact that throughout that streak, and it's a tremendous amount of games, a tremendous amount of wear and tear on his body, the one thing that's been consistent about Ripken is his production. His numbers year after year after year just stay at that all-star level. Moves from shortstop to third base this year, nothing different. He's still a starter on the all-star team. We've got an interesting subtext to share with you through the course of the ball game, a homecoming of sorts for Garrett Stevenson. Young Garrett began his career in the Orioles organization and will face them for the first time. And Teague, as great as he was the initial call-up, he has struggled lately. Yeah, it's been a couple different things for Garrett. Number one, obviously, he's, the first couple games, 3 games that he pitched, his location was just outstanding. Everything he threw was on the corners, down, he was ahead of hitters. He was pitching perfect ball games. Well, he's got away from that a little bit. The control has been a little bit dampened. And also the knee injury and the fact that it set him back a little bit, got him off stride. So I think a combination of losing the control and the knee injury have led to the results you saw in the last 4 ball games. But, I think if he can get the control back and get the pitches in the zones where he wants to, he's got a chance to get back on track. Well, the Orioles 1, 2, and 3 starters are all double-digit winners, but today the Phils will see starter number 4. His name is Scott Kamenicki, and he's done a very good job coming off some arm problems a year ago. Has 6 wins, a 3.77 earned run average, facing Garrett Stevenson, looking for win number 3 and to break that personal losing streak. Cal Ripken set to take the field. Game number 2, 3, 9, 6. As baseball's most amazing streak continues, we'll come back with starting lineups and the Phils and Orioles right after this. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Mellon PSFS, it's where you're going. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield, the health insurance companies you can lean on.
When I call, I don't want to get bounced around or put on hold.
When that phone rings,
your name is Mrs. Langley?
It's my call, it's no one else's. And check this problem for you. And it's up to me to get whatever answers you need, no matter what. All the information that I need is easily accessible and at my fingertips.
Did you say you're experiencing flickering lights?
If I can't find the answer, my coworkers will help me out. I enjoy dealing with people.
Yes, we'll be glad.
Thank you for calling Pico Energy. My name is Demetrius. How may I help you?
It's time for you to be a Philadelphia Philly. Live the fantasy of being a big leaguer at Phillies Dream Week. It's a magical week where you'll laugh, play, and learn from Phillies all-time greats like Boa, Cash, Lozinski, Taylor, Ashburn, and many more. Space is limited, and every year is a sellout. Call 215-938-1200 for details on the week of a lifetime. Live the dream, Phillies Dream Week.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time, so you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone, banking from just about anywhere by PC, or anytime by ATM, and the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
All right, you've got my Discover card statement. Well, I write, but a lot of people don't realize I make wonderful pictures, too. And what I do is I paint on acetate with India ink. I went into Barnes & Noble one time and bought 3 books I myself had written. And I presume I got a royalty as well as the bonus from Discover card.
How many credit cards make a statement like that? It pays to Discover.
I think that's me.
Use it where you see the Novus sign.
It is an afternoon of presidential proportions here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, because Bill Clinton is in town and on the field just below us, announcing the beginning of the Educational Excellence Partnership to raise national standards in reading and math for our nation's youth. A few minutes ago, we went down into the Phillies clubhouse and had a visit with Terry Francona, signed some autographs, exchanged some pleasantries. He has always been a major baseball fan. The Secret Service presence in the yard today, quite astounding. The scope of a presidential visit. He took the field with Bud Selig and Cal Ripken to announce the beginning of this campaign. That's a good picture of Clinton and Ripken. And then made some brief comments before heading up the runway to announce this partnership between the U.S. Department of Education, Major League Baseball, and a number of corporate sponsors to encourage parents to get more involved in their children's education and support higher academic standards in our nation's schools. The president is likely to share at least a considerable portion of the ball game with us this afternoon. And as you might expect, the White House press corps down just below us has made the short ride up, and it might take just a little while to get them all cleared off the field and get the teams ready to go so that we can play some baseball. This ballpark, Oriole Park at Camden Yards, of course, has been the site of exhibition games involving the Phils. This is their first regular season experience here, and it's really a remarkable structure. You see behind right field the standing room only bleachers. Despite the sellouts that they have every day, there are tickets that go on sale a couple of hours before the game, and those are the standing room seats, and always very popular. The B&O warehouse across the street, which you've seen where the 2131 numbers were put up for Ripken, that is built back in 1898. It's the longest building on the East Coast, but only 51 feet wide, and it takes a polka 432 feet to get one to the warehouse itself, and that now is part of the Orioles corporate complex, as they have offices and some public facilities out there. Utah Street is a promenade that is 60 foot 6 inches wide between the ballpark and the warehouse. That is Boog Powell's barbecue pit. And they've got a number of public displays, including a Hall of Fame for Mid-Atlantic Scouts in the Maryland Athletic Hall of Fame. Lovely little tour. The field itself is remarkable. A 3-deck field. You see at the very top of your screen some of the Secret Service agents on top. It's got the center field scoreboard. And at the top of the scoreboard, as our artiste Kent DeColvey will draw around the red birds on either side, those are actually weather vanes with an Oriole, so the fans can see exactly what direction the wind is going. There are Orioles throughout the ballpark, different logos from the long history of Baltimore as a baseball city, dating back to the 1890s, when Baltimore was one of the first cities of American baseball. The bullpens themselves have wonderful views from out in left center field. A 2-tiered bullpen with the home club in front of the visiting club, and then the standing room seats directly behind them. So you have a bullpen eye view from there. Now, on the playing field itself, right in the middle of center field, historic location, it used to be Conway Street and Little Paca Road, right in the middle of center field. The reason that that is so historic is that that was Ruth's Cafe, owned and operated by the father of Babe Ruth. And of course, his birthplace is just 2 blocks away in one of the leading baseball museums in the nation. But right around the middle of that screen used to be the tavern run by Babe's father. You can spend a full morning awaiting a ball game on Utah Street along the promenade, the caricatures The Orioles have taken all kinds of pains to make it a wonderfully pleasant baseball experience all along Utah Street, and they start lining up here about 11:30 for a 3 o'clock game, and you see not an empty seat in the house. Now, in terms of the stadium itself and the way the wall is played, in center field you'll see the 410-foot sign, and at the 410-foot sign, that is just to the left of dead center field. So just like Fenway Park, the deepest part of the baseball stadium is not straightaway center field, kind of an offset angle, and it's 410 to deep left center field. Down the lines on the right field side, the field is at 318. The left field side is at 333. You see that 7-foot wall that goes all the way along the stadium down to the right field scoreboard, where it's 318, and that 318 juts up to a stadium scoreboard height of 25 feet, and it goes 100 feet along till you get back to that 7-foot wall, where it's the 373 sign to the power alleys in right center, and 364 the power alley in left center. And as incredible as it looks on television, in person, Kent DeColvey, it is even more impressive.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It is a magnificent ballpark and a great place to play baseball. Obviously, you know, the Baltimore Orioles playing in front of packed crowds day in and day out. Just a beautiful place for a baseball game.
Well, here's the lineup the Philadelphia Phillies will use on getaway day. Rob Butler will lead off, making his 14th start in center field. The red-hot Mickey Morandini hits 2. Darren Dalton DHing once more. Scott Rowland, Rico Bronian, Greg Jeffries. Ruben Amaro makes his first start of 97 as a right fielder. Mike Lieberthal and Kevin Stocker will bat 9th.
Defensively for the Baltimore Orioles this afternoon, they have Rafael Palmeiro at first base. Robbie Alomar is the second baseman. Jeff Robele is the shortstop. Cal Ripken Jr., he of the extended streak at third base. B.J. Surhoff in left. Brady Anderson back in the lineup today after being off last night in center field. Jeffrey Hammonds is the right fielder. Tim Laker is doing the catching this afternoon, and on the mound 6-foot, 195-pound right-hander Scott Kamenecki. Kamenecki is making his 16th start of the year for the Orioles. He's got a 6-4 record with a 3.37 earned run average. Kamenecki, who is a product of the Yankee system, suffered through an injury-plagued '96 season with the Yanks, and that came on the heels of a '95 season where Scott had elbow problems and eventually had to have off-season surgery to remove some chips from that elbow. The Yankees let him go last year as a free agent, signed with the Orioles in January as a non-roster invitee to spring training, and he has been one of the reasons why the Orioles are at the top of Major League Baseball record-wise. His last start was this past Friday here at Camden Yards. Got beat by the Toronto Blue Jays by a score of 2-1. You see his numbers in that ball game. Pitched well, just got outdueled by the Blue Jays.
He has done everything you could expect from a non-roster invitee. First pitch of the ball game to Rob Butler is a strike call. Butler, a 300 hitter. Cal Ripken well up in front of the third base bag, guarding against the bunt. Off speed pitch, tap. Alomar on the backhand, plants and throws for out number 1. That American League umpiring crew, so names that we're not as familiar with. That's Larry Young behind home plate, Brian O'Nora, Dale Ford, and Mike Riley complete the contingent. That'll bring up Mickey Morandini. Mickey's having a 400 road trip at 10 of 25, making a bid for an all-star berth, batting at .306. Strike called. Kamenecki changes speeds. Has had a little bit of a walk problem. That's up.
Yeah, throughout his career, Larry, Kamenecki has not been a big strikeout pitcher. In fact, most of the time during the course of his career, his walks and strikeout numbers almost equal. You know, you like to have a 2-to-1 ratio on that, 2 strikeouts to every walk, but Kamenecki has never been able to be in that range. Not so much because he walks a ton of hitters, but he just doesn't strike out a whole lot.
In his best year, '93, where he won 10 for the New York Yankees, struck out 72, walked 59 in 154 innings. That's pretty close to his career ratio. Swinging up the middle, Alomar's backhand once more. Harder play this time, but he got him. 6 straight Gold Gloves for Robbie Alomar, and that is why.
Yeah, there's no doubt Robbie Alomar, considered by many people the best defensive second baseman in the major leagues, as he goes to his backhand again. Good strong arm, as he doesn't even have to plant to get rid of that ball to first base. Alomar's been tested twice now by Butler, and Morandini has been up to the task both times with a couple of good plays. Robbie Alomar voted to the All-Star team as a starter in the American League this year again.
Here's Darren Dalton. In his 6th start as a DH, with good power numbers. Fouled straight back. Of course, Darren had been rumored with the Orioles for a long time as a club that was quite interested. They've added Geronimo Baroa to replace Eric Davis, but they're still a little bit light from the left side. Off-speed pitch is up.
The Dalton rumors kind of went on the back burner a little bit when Danny Tartabull was hurt early in the year, and Darren became an everyday right fielder for the Phillies. So, you know, he was getting the playing time that he was looking for, and kind of slowed that trade talk down a little bit.
That's away.
There's no doubt that during spring training, many of the rumors that circulated were around Darren Dalton. You know, was he going to go to Baltimore, and who were the Phillies going to get, and the contract situation and all that was involved. But as I said, it's kind of slowed down a little bit now that the Phillies situation has changed.
Rip to right. Hammonds on the dead run. Has it ankle high. So a good running catch by young Jeffrey Hammonds. The Phils go and turn in the 1st.
Caravan thoughtfully comes in 2 sizes. Oh, the price fits too. During the National Dodge Sale, you'll find all kinds of great offers on Dodge Caravan, including up to $1,000 cash back to close the deal. Caravan, the new Dodge.
Where you wanna go, find a road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
A colorful action poster free, compliments of Boston Market, and tons of extra fun things for fans 14 and under, Sunday, July 20th at 1:35 when the Phillies take on the Pirates. Great seat locations starting at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Bottom 1, Baltimore is about to bat for the first time, and here's the lineup that will face Garrett Stevenson, All-Star starter Brady Anderson, All-Star starter Roberto Alomar, newly acquired Geronimo Baroja, Rafael Palmeiro, Cal Ripken, B.J. Surhoff, Jeffrey Hammonds, one-time Expo catcher Tim Laker gets a start, and Jeff Robillé, making his 17th start of the year, is at short today.
Defensively for the Phillies, Rico Brogna at first, Mickey Morandini at second, Kevin Stocker at short, Scott Rowland at third. Greg Jeffries is in left, Rob Butler in center. Ruben Amaro gets a start in right field today. Mike Lieberthal behind the plate. He will be catching the offerings of 25-year-old right-hander Garrett Stevenson. Garrett's making his 8th start of the year for the Phillies and his 3rd since coming off the DL on June 22nd. 2-4 so far with a 4.20 earned run average. After winning twice in his first 3 starts, Garrett has lost each of his last 4 times out, including the last time when he pitched 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts against the Braves, and lost to Greg Maddux in that ball game by a score of 7-1.
First hitter he'll face is Brady Anderson. Anderson not having anywhere near the power success he had a year ago when he hit 50 home runs. Fastball is skied foul, out of play.
Well, the long ball has been a little bit of a problem for Stevenson. He's given up 7 home runs now in 40 2/3 innings pitched. I'd like to see those numbers, down a little lower than that. You like to keep at least 1 per ball game, 1 per 9. It's a little higher than Stevenson would like it. that goes back, Larry, to what I was talking about before with his control. He has to be able to keep the ball down in the strike zone. He did it very well the first 3 starts. He has struggled with his control recently.
It's 2-1. Brady Anderson, originally out of the Red Sox organization, was traded July of '88 for a guy by the name of Mike Boddicker, good pitcher, and there was a young throw-in that deal. Tapper to Stevenson, out number 1. And the name of that young throw-in was Kurt Schilling. That's how Schill became an Oriole. And Baltimore, a literal juggernaut in the standings with the best earned run average in the American League and the best record in baseball. They, of course, set that major league record for home runs a year ago. Their power numbers are down, but their winning record is up. Here's Robbie Alomar.
Amazing, though, Larry, when you look at ball clubs that are winning, whether it be in the American League or the National League, you usually find that pitching number up toward the top somewhere. Of course, the Atlanta Braves, the class of the National League, and it's the same formula for the Braves.
Strike called. Can you key in early on Stevenson in terms of arm speed effectiveness to see how he's going to work?
I think it's more a question of location. If he's consistent with his location, Stevenson's a guy who likes to keep the ball down in the strike zone as much as possible. Now, he will throw fastballs up out of the strike zone when he gets ahead of the hitters. He'll also use his changeup, in a situation when he's ahead of the hitters. But it's important for him to keep the ball down early in the count.
Like that.
It's not so much, velocity with Garrett Stevenson. He's not going to overpower major league hitters, but he's got good enough stuff that if he's able to move it around and keep it down on a consistent basis, he has had some success that way.
It's a 2-2 for Alomar. Off the inside corner and ripped for a base hit. Alomar at just 29 years of age. Over 1,600 career hits. A lot of them just like that.
Yeah, Stevenson with this ball, you see he wanted down and in. It's about belt high on the inside part of the plate. Alomar very quick with his hands, able to get through on that inside pitch. And why he's such a good hitter is he also, his hands are quick, but he can also stay back and hit the pitch away the other direction.
So here's Geronimo Boroa, acquired from Oakland last Friday. That drops in for strike 1. Boroa played a lot of right field in Oakland, DH'd about once every 3 games, is DHing here and has some terrific power numbers. Check over move. Alomar's stolen 6 bases has been caught once. Boroa filling the roster void from Eric Davis, who had that colon cancer surgery a couple of weeks ago. Off speed pitch to right center field. Amaro charging. Amaro has it belt high, as that was a little bit off the end of the bat for out number 2. By the way, Garrett Stevenson and his wife Stephanie celebrating the birth of their 2nd child, born yesterday back in Philadelphia. So Garrett went home for the arrival, promising to get back in time for his start, and he was good to his word. So Stephanie and Riley, his oldest child, if you're listening back in Philadelphia, congratulations. Rafael Palmeiro with 2 out. Palmeiro's been slumping. In fact, had an 0 for 19 stretch ended last night, and it's just 7 of his last 52 to go all the way down to 253. Not normal territory for Palmeiro. Phillies play him deep and straight away. You see the recent slump. Outside. So it's 3-0 on Palmeiro. Palmeiro originally out of the Cubs organization. And a .299 lifetime hitter. Alomar goes, and Lieberthal has no throw. Alomar left so early, Teeth, then spun his wheels, realized Stevenson wasn't going to see him, and kind of went in a walk.
Kind of a strange time to run for Alomar. 3-ball, no strike count. Thought he had a good read on Stevenson. Did, but then started too soon. Garrett didn't see him over there and allowed him to go ahead and steal the bag.
So it's 3-1 with Palmeiro and Alomar in scoring position. Cal Ripken waiting on deck. Ball 4. Stevenson has not been plagued by the walk. Just the 11 in 40 2/3 coming in tonight. A visit from Mike Lieberthal. And Cal Ripken, moments ago on the field with President Clinton in consecutive game number 2396, and as you said right at the top, the consistency of his production is what's been most amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about guys that play over a long stretch of time, you got guys that can't play day games after night games. This guy plays for year after year after year, and yet when you look at his production, you would think that the wear and tear and all the attention that he gets would slow him down, but it hasn't, none whatsoever.
Ripped to right field. Amaro on 2 hops. Bobbles, so has no throw. It comes to third. Run scoring RBI number 53 for the team leader, Cal Ripken. Palmeiro will wind up at third base. And it's 1-0 Baltimore.
Ripken not wasting any time. Jumps on the first pitch from Stevenson with a man in scoring position. Just stays back and lines the ball into right field. It's like Cal Ripken leads this ball club in RBIs. Not always looking for situations where he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but looking for a pitch that he can drive in the go-ahead run in this ball game. The first run of a game, always the most important. Cal Ripken delivers for the Orioles, their first run.
So 1-0 bottom of the first. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. B.J. Surhoff, the batter. Change down. Surhoff, another 300 hitter. Another double-digit home run hitter. They have 5 in the starting lineup and 3 players with over 50 RBIs. Change, called strike.
Surhoff, a little bit of an anomaly in the fact that, we talked so many times about left-handed hitters. Most of them like the ball down and in. Most left-handed hitters, good low ball hitters. Surhoff, just the opposite. He is one of the few high ball left-handed hitters that you're going to see in baseball, and he's a good one. Turn those hands over on that high inside pitch and drive it.
That'll reach the seats. Little manicuring by Cal Ripken. With that RBI, he now has 1,422, trailing only one-time teammate Eddie Murray among active players.
It's interesting that those 2 guys should be at the top of the list, because Cal Ripken so many times talks about how Eddie Murray, when he first came up as a young player, really taught him about how to play the game. And when he set the record for the streak, he talked about Murray and the values that he learned from Eddie when he first came to the Orioles. Eddie, already an established player with the ball club, about going out there and playing every day and doing your job and being consistent. All the qualities that have made Cal Ripken great.
Fouled straight back.
So there was a real love affair between Murray and Ripken, and it was nice last year when Murray was able to rejoin the Orioles late in his career, be rejoined with Ripken. Of course, Eddie Murray has moved on to the California Angels now, or I should say the Anaheim Angels now.
Thank you.
But nonetheless, you know, that's a bond that will go down forever. Ripken and Murray.
2-2 to Surhoff. Down and away. There are a couple of seats demarcated in the outfield, one in left center field, one in right center field. Obviously, they have bodies in them at the moment. One represents Ripken all-time home runs. There you see that red seat is where Cal's all-time shortstop leading home run number 278 landed. Then in right center where Eddie hit number 500. So those two have had a great relationship, have all-time locations marked in their honor in this ballpark. Ripken will be off with the pitch. It's 3-2 with 2 outs. He goes. Tapper foul. That's where Eddie hit number 500 beyond that 373 sign in right center field. Actually, a couple of empty seats out there. Must be a group that's getting here late.
Got hung up in the presidential motorcade traffic.
3-2 pitch is high, so they'll load him up for Jeffrey Hammonds. And a visit from Galen Cisco to settle down his young starter.
Yeah, he needs to get Stevenson settled down right here, because one of the biggest problems the Phillies have had, and they've had a lot of them recently, has been the big inning early in the ball game where, you know, the Phillies have gone down by a big number early, and you know, this ball club offensively just doesn't have the kind of firepower that you can come back. So it's very important for the starting pitchers to keep the game close early. Stevenson's already given up a run here, but with 2 outs and now the bases loaded, almost imperative to get the key out right here of Jeffrey Hammonds and get himself out of the inning and back to the dugout. So Galen Cisco makes a quick trip out to the mound and try to get Stevenson back on board. You know, a lot of these pitches, again, as we talked about at the beginning of the ball game, we're seeing from Stevenson are well up in the strike zone, and you know, he's got to find some consistency down early. Last ball game that he pitched, he gave up 5 consecutive base hits in the first inning. Pitched pretty well after that, but you know, when you give up a big number early, it's going to make it very difficult for your ball club to come back.
Key early spot as he faces young Jeffrey Hammonds. Strike called. Stevenson, of course, a product of the Orioles minor league system and a teammate of Hammonds at a couple of different locations. That's high. They were teammates in Bowie in '94 when Stevenson was a 13-game winner, and in Rochester for a time early in '96. Swing and a miss on a great changeup.
Yeah, Hammonds is the kind of guy you want up at the plate in this situation too, Larry, because he has not been very successful with men in scoring position in 2 outs, just hitting 130 this year in those situations. Does much better with men in scoring position in less than 2 outs, hitting almost 300 at 280. But once you get to 2 outs, Hammond seems to press and fell down to 130.
1-2 fastball away. Lieberthal wanted it. It's 2-2. Again, outside corner, swing and a miss. Big pitch by Garrett Stevenson to leave him loaded. But the Orioles break on top with a first inning run.
Budweiser. I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
No.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
first camera day. How you doing? Hello. You're a shy one, aren't you? How are you? Can I have that back? No? Please? Thank you. Hi there. There you go. Sure.
I hope you have good ear.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd just like to get a hit tonight.
Huge pitch here, Kent Jacoby, to end the first inning.
Yeah, Larry, we talked about Stevenson. When he's down low in the strike zone, that's when he's successful. He comes up with a good pitch right here against Hammonds to get out of the inning. See Lieberthal's target down low. Stevenson delivers the ball. Hammonds way out in front of it as he kept that changeup down low in the strike zone. Got Jeffrey Hammonds for the big out to end the first inning.
So Garrett gets through inning number 1 with a run and leaves him loaded. And Scott Rowland the lead off, top of the second.
The first baseman, correction. The first third baseman, number 17, Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland also has a consecutive game streak of his own, Teak. 81. As we are at the halfway point of 97. Scotty pounds that off his front foot. He's the only Philly to play in every game thus far. So that would mean he's, what, 2,315 behind his third base counterpart.
So divide that by 162 and you get seasons.
Yep. And lots of them. Strike called inside corner.
Quick math gives me about 14.
Scotty the club leader with 43 RBIs. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Kamenicki.
Take a look at our Nizon scouting report on Scott Kamenicki, the Baltimore Orioles starter this afternoon. He throws 2 different fastballs, a sinker and a four-seamer in the low 90s, a curveball and a slider. Changeup he uses especially when he gets behind in the count, and we've been told that he must keep the ball down, especially when he's behind in the count, because he just doesn't have the kind of gas on the fastball that he can throw it up high when you know it's coming. Also doesn't hold runners very well, so if the Phillies get in a situation where they can run, might see some running out of Terry Francona's ball club.
Rico Brogna off the end of the bat, out of play, so it's 0-2. Kind of a quiet 50,000 folks. They are used to a standard of excellence. Fouled back again. Done all kinds of little things to improve this ballpark over the last 5 years since its existence. In fact, down the lines in left and right field, some of the fans complained that they didn't like the angle of the seats, that they were faced too much toward the outfield, so they went and turned all the seats. 3,300 seats, just kind of tweaked them a little bit so that they'd be facing more toward the playing field. Local ownership, very responsive. And the 0-2 to Brogna. Off the end of the bat and foul.
Well, Larry, when we talk about Oriole Park at Camden Yard, I think this is the first of the new breed of stadiums, and kind of the one that all the rest of the new stadiums are measured against. The Orioles, Baltimore did a great job when they designed this stadium and built it 5 years ago. And really, when you look at a Coors Field, the ones that we get to see, Coors Fields and the others, a lot of what you see here at Camden Yards has been incorporated into those new fields, and then they just tweak them a little bit, and a little different way to improve this or give it its own personality.
Ripken over by the photo box. It's a couple of rows back. One of the interesting asymmetrical notions in the field is from home plate back, it's about 45 feet. And then it's about 56 feet from the bags over the lower photo deck. So it's a pretty fair ballpark in terms of foul territory. A little bit of room on the tracks down the lines as well. But that'll help a hitter a little bit. You don't have a ton of room behind home plate or down the lines in foul territory.
Yeah, balls get into the stands as opposed to staying in play for those foul pop-outs.
Off-speed pitch just missed.
I think if you had to rate this park, you would call it a hitter's ballpark. the low outfield walls, the dimensions as they are in the 7-foot fences. Not a whole lot of foul territory.
Swing and a miss. So Kamenicki used much of the repertoire for strikeout number 2 on Bronya.
Well, not only is it a good pitch by Kamenicki right here, but perfect location down and away as he hits that changeup on the outside corner. It's hard to believe, Larry, that just a year ago there were a whole lot of people in baseball that thought Kamenicki his career was done. The Yankees did not bother to tend him a contract, allowed him to be a free agent, came to the Orioles as a non-roster player in spring training. He's already won 6 ball games for them and pitched very well.
Greg Jeffries, the only Philly in the lineup who has experience against Kamenicki, 2 of 6 lifetime, hitting at .250 overall. Of course, it's been 5 years since he saw him with the Royals in '92. Taking all the way. It's 2-1. Ripped to right and deep. Off the top of the scoreboard, Jeffries will have a long single as that hit about 20 feet up on that 25-foot scoreboard we showed you. And any other part of the ballpark, that is way out. Instead, it's a very long single for Greg Jeffries.
Yeah, you see that big scoreboard in right field as it's way up above the fence. Jeffries just didn't quite get this ball airborne enough as he lines it down the right field line extremely hard. Just not quite enough hang time on it as it bounces right up off of the Milwaukee sign at the top of the scoreboard. Jeffrey Hammonds plays the carom well. We've seen that 2 nights in a row now. Line drives off that board that turn into singles because the outfielders can play that carom and get the ball back into the infield in a hurry.
Ruben Amaro, the batter. Kamenicki does throw over to first base a lot, second most in the American League. The scoreboard in right field slightly angled, so as the ball comes off, it will have a tendency to go toward right center field, and Hammonds played the angle perfectly. Will not come straight back at you. That's high. Ruben, a switch hitter, batting left, numerically a slightly better hitter from the right side. His 1 home run this year came left-handed.
Yeah, those numbers that you're talking about are this year. I think over the course of his career, we have seen that Amaro probably swings the bat a little better from the left side. Just hasn't worked out that way for him so far in '97.
Quick move. Jeffries has stolen 7, has been caught 4 times. And as Teague told you, that's been one of Kamenicki's problems, a little bit slow to home plate. Strike call.
Yeah, Larry, you notice as Kamenicki delivers the ball to home plate, he has a very slow leg kick as he picks the leg up and moves it back and then forward again. So it gives the base runner plenty of time to get a good jump over there. He does all he can by throwing over to first base to try to keep the runners close, but it's the length of time from when he picks his foot up till he gets rid of the baseball that really has caused him problems.
That was high and outside to Palmeiro at first, so Jeffries back standing.
The other problem Kamenicki has is that he throws to first base a lot, but really doesn't have an outstanding move. He's not quick to first base. He just throws over there quite often.
That's high. 2-1 on Amaro with Mike Lieberthal waiting on deck. Beautiful afternoon. High sky. Temperatures mid-80s.
Just a few clouds left in the area. This morning was overcast, but see some blue sky up there now as we head into the mid-afternoon hours.
Ruben with that open stance. That held straight up. Swinging and rips it foul. Past Brad Mills down the first baseline. Two and two. Mike Lieberthal has gotten the average up over 200. It's been a struggle. 10 home runs, 27 RBIs, waits on deck. Jeffries gets out a little bit further on the 2-2 and holds as that's in the air to right, high and playable for Hammonds toward the line. So Jeffries goes to the top of the wall, but it's just a scratch single as the Phillies are still scoreless.
You know you can watch Prism and Sports Channel on TV, but how about cyberspace? Prism Sports Channel Interactive on America Online keeps you up to date on the latest movies, music, and sports. Exclusive Phillies coverage, updates on special events and features, music, news, views, and sounds to be downloaded, online chats with area celebrities, interactive features like You Be the Reporter, and great contests. Prism Sports Channel Interactive. Keyword Prism SC on America Online's Digital City, Philadelphia.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear Aqua Tread with the advanced deep groove Aqua Channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear Aqua Tread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
From Toya Pets to Chia Pets, Toyota's commemorating 40 years of being part of America. And to celebrate, a great selection of Toyota certified used vehicles is now available from participating dealers. Each has undergone a 128-point inspection so thorough, it's covered by a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, extending from the original date of purchase, and a 24-hour roadside assistance program, all backed by Toyota. Toyota certified used vehicles. The best new cars make the best used cars.
Just a couple of blocks off Baltimore's famed Inner Harbor. The water taxi. Fun way to spend an afternoon. And head on over to the ballpark. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, where we move to the bottom of the second. Orioles on top 1-0. And Garrett Stevenson will face Tim Laker. Laker making his third start as an Oriole. Philly fans likely remember him as a career Montreal Expo. That's away.
Laker was playing down in Rochester at AAA ball when Chris Hoyles, who usually does the majority of the catching for the Orioles, went on the disabled list. Actually, Laker had been on the disabled list himself. He'd missed 9 games with a hamstring problem, but he recovered a little quicker when he found out it was going to be Baltimore that he was playing in instead of Rochester. So Tim Laker is up now and backing up Lenny Webster, another former Philly who has done the bulk of the catching for the Orioles since Hoyles has gone down.
Strike called. Laker sat out all of 1996 with 3 separate surgeries after having been hurt midway through 1995. He had one thing going for him. He signed his first pro contract with a guy by the name of Kevin Malone. Swing and a miss there, strike three. Malone is now the assistant general manager here in Baltimore. And when they were short on catching depth, he got the phone call. Well, the all-star teams have been completed, Kent Colby, in the last hour or so. And for the Phils, just one representative, Curt Schilling, the National League leader in strikeouts and a 9-game winner. And among the reserves for Baltimore, as that's fouled back by Robles. Mussina, Myers, and Key, 3 pitchers. Here's Curt, who'll be an all-star for the first time. Change, good pitch. Jimmy Key, and the 11-game winner with a 2.66 ERA. And will not be in the All-Star game, so he can go get married.
Sometimes in life you must make choices. Being a married person as you are, Larry, I think you probably made the right one at this point in time, because you do not want to get your wife upset before you even start the marriage off. So probably a good choice by Jimmy Key. They'd already planned to get married at the All-Star break. He's going to go through with it.
Erickson is 11-3 with a 307 earned run average and will not go. Randy Myers has a 1.39 earned run average and 26 saves and will go. Brady Anderson, the batter. Anderson tapped out in front of the plate to Stevenson in his first at bat. Mickey Morandini certainly having an all-star quality season with a 306 batting average, as is Erickson with those 11 wins. In fact, Erickson, Key, and Mussina add up to a 32-10 winning percentage as your 1, 2, and 3 starters, and all could certainly make a good case to be on the team.
And that has become the problem, Larry, in the last few years, is the fact that, there are just so many guys. There just aren't enough spots on the All-Star team, with expansion and the number of players that are in the major leagues now to justly treat all the players that really deserve to be there. You go through that process and a number of players that have good years, and then you also, obviously you still have the rule in that each team must be represented. In fact, in Morandini's case, Mickey's chances were probably hurt by the fact that Tony Womack, the second baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're only representative on the All-Star team. So at the end, it becomes a puzzle of, okay, now we got to get somebody from this team and somebody from that team. And I think Mickey just came out on the short end, because if you put numbers together, Womack and Morandini's going to win out, but the Pirates had to be represented, and that was the best way that Bobby Cox could figure to represent the Pirates. So Mickey ends up on the short end. It happens every year. It's not the first time, and he's not the first player.
Oh yeah. 3-2 pitch is up to Anderson, so he's a 2-out base runner. In terms of Morandini, you see the starters. There are 3 starting members of the American League squad from Baltimore. And we had talked earlier that Alomar seemed particularly pleased to receive the fan vote following the incident at the end of last season.
Yeah, Alomar and Ripken both stated that. Alomar because of obviously the incident, with the umpire spitting incident, and the fact that the fans were still supportive of him. And Ripken, you think a guy that's been to the All-Star games as many years as Ripken has old hat. Well, he was impressed with the fact that the fans still thought enough of him to vote him in at third base, not his usual shortstop position where he made all those other All-Star teams. So both of these guys very much in tune to, where they relate to the fans and how their status is looked at by the fans.
The All-Star appearance number 15 for Ripken. Strike called on the change.
Larry, you see the number 24 on Robbie Alomar's helmet. There's a few of the Oriole players that are wearing that number there. That's in honor of Eric Davis. You mentioned earlier has suffered with the colon cancer and is on the disabled list right now. You see Brady Anderson at first has Davis's number on his helmet. That's just their kind of tribute to say, hey, get better and get back.
Changes up. Alomar single, stole a base, and has scored the game's only run. This is an older team, this Orioles club. Alomar approaching his 30th birthday as the second youngest starter. Hammond's 26. Everybody else is 32, 33, 34, especially out in that bullpen. I guess when you're a first-place club, you're filled with veteran leadership. When you're not, you're an old team.
Well, it was a club that was built, to kind of coincide with this ballpark when they opened this ballpark up 5 years ago. So the majority of the players that were brought in to make the Orioles good then are just 5 years older, obviously, by now. And the aging process, that's the good news, is they got a good ball club. The bad news is they're all going to get old at the same time.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of replacement need to be done here in Baltimore in about 3 or 4 years when these players all start getting to the end of their careers where they cannot maintain their performance.
Anderson goes, but it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Talking to some of the Orioles people, and we're lauding the sellouts day after day, and one of the things they say is, you can't take a day off around here because every day is a sellout. 50,000 people. They expect to win. They expect a show. You can't just kind of go on cruise control on any day when this is the scene you're looking at.
Yeah, the only people that get the day off are the people in the sales department because they have no tickets left to sell. Well, except for those 300, of course, that go on sale every day as standing room only seats. Or standing room only spaces, I guess you should call them.
You know where the Murray home run was? And I said I must be a group that's late. That has just gotten filled in by about 100 youngsters in white T-shirts. So I think it was the group that sang the national anthem. That's the Louisiana State Choir. There you go. So it did look kind of strange to see an empty section, and they have all filled it in. Thanks, guys. Baroa will bat with 2 out, 2 on. Swing and a miss. Baroa with a very big, healthy grip.
Yeah, Baroa very seldom gets a check swing. He's one of those guys that goes to the plate and takes that big cut the majority of the time. He will strike out on occasion, but when he makes contact, he has the ability to hit the ball a long way.
Coming off a career year a year ago with 36 home runs, 106 RBIs for the '96 Oakland Athletics. That's right there, strike 2.
Larry Garrett at the end of the first inning when he struck out Hammond and then getting Laker and Robele to start the second, had the ball down in the strike zone. Then all of a sudden he got wild up again, walks Anderson and Alomar. So his control is kind of coming in bits and pieces. When he's got the ball down, he's been very effective, but when he's been up, it has not been good at all. Needs to get one down here.
Waste that one, a fastball away. Garrett sequentially 0-2 will waste your way, and then what? Try to get you with the change?
Yeah, tries to get your bat sped up with that fastball, and then we'll come back with the change up. We'll see what Lieberthal calls right here. Man on second, they're using a series of signs.
He's still away.
That was a change up and just missed off the outside edge.
So it's a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs and Palmeiro on deck. This is where he'd like to make it happen. Change is just tap foul. Baroa kind of jumped out of his spikes on that.
Baroa way out in front on this pitch as he's out on the front foot, just barely gets the end of the bat on it. He's that big long stride, body leans all the way forward and just able to tip it right off the end of his bat. Real good pitch by Stevenson. Baroa very fortunate to get a piece of it and foul it off. It's the kind of holes that he has with that big swing. He can get off balance. Of course, if he times the pitch properly, then all kinds of good things can happen for Baroa.
Change up pulled foul. Down to that highly crowded third base camera cutout. A number of those photographers here. Hello, hello. For the visit of President Clinton. And coming right at you, Lenz. Blink. Stevenson.
Those lenses are expensive, too. You don't want to be ricocheting off them too often.
Garrett's made a lot of pitches through the first couple of innings. A big one here, 2-2, 2 outs. Nice block by Lieberthal. So the count is full. From second base, Brady Anderson off with the pitch. From first base, Robbie Alomar off with the pitch. Neither runner being held. Changeup is hit high to left field. Playable for Jeffries if it ever comes down, and it does for out number 3. So Garrett makes another big 2-strike, 2-out pitch. It's still 1-0.
Well, not much of a crowd here today, but it should be a good game. All right, Stewart's batting 3.
Here, hold my Budweiser. I'm going to go find those guys.
All right, Wedman toes the rubber. Delivers. Whoa, a long drive to left field. That ball's going to carry. It's going out of here. There's one lucky fan out there, but he's got something in his hands. What's he going to do? He's got to make his move. This doesn't look good. Oh, that ball bounced about 20 feet off his head.
Please, just let go of the beer.
Let go of the beer, son.
Hey, the road ahead awaits you. You never know just where it takes you.
Roll into Sears today, where all tires are on sale. All sizes, all brands.
Roll me east, roll me west, rolling free, that's the best.
Sears Auto Center, we keep you rolling.
Free to roll.
All tires on sale. Top brands like Michelin, Bridgestone, and Goodyear. Roll in by Saturday.
The most prestigious national authority on evaluating managed health plans has awarded Keystone Health Plan East a full accreditation.
By meeting all of the NCQA's rigorous standards, Keystone is among the top 20% of the nation's HMOs, receiving the highest accreditation possible.
We will continue to work hard to merit this accreditation.
Because we've understood how important quality health care is for you and your family for nearly 60 years.
For unsurpassed quality,
you can lean on us.
Fans 14 and under will get a baseball cap from Model Sporting Goods, like the one the Phils will wear when they play the Cubs Sunday, July 6th at 1:35. Reserved seats start at just $5. Call 463-1000.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Phillies. Very special guest with us. A guy that will never have to stand for election again. Bill Clinton. In special pregame ceremonies to kick off a new program, the Education Excellence Partnership, to try to raise national standards in reading and mathematics. Got a very nice hand from this crowd. You know, doesn't have to be elected again, but it's nice to still be popular. Of course, the other guy introduced, Bud Selig, was
not quite as warm.
Rather mixed for the acting commissioner.
I think mixed was generous.
I clapped. Mixed it. Mike Lieberthal facing Kamenicki to start the third.
We had a chance before the ball game during those ceremonies to see a couple of spots that are being produced involving Major League Baseball players, and for the Education Excellence Partnership, promoting that. Tony Gwynn, Brett Butler involved in those spots. So Major League Baseball teaming up with the president to try to improve the educational process in America.
Good location here, T.
Yeah, again, we talked about Kamenicki needing to keep the ball down. He had that one right at Lieberthal's knees and ran it in on his hands.
That is his fastball. He turns over.
Yeah, that's the two-seam fastball. That's the one, the sinker that he runs down and into right-handers. Also has the four-seamer that will ride upstairs.
Kevin Stocker batting out of the 9 spot. Shows bunt, takes it low. Nope, they appeal down, and
that's third base umpire Mike Riley said that Stocker attempted to bunt that ball before he pulled the bat back. Take a look at it right here and see if Stocker did indeed offer. Yeah, you saw him kind of slap at the ball and then pull the bat back.
pulled foul. It's 1-2. Off-speed pitch is low. Of course, we figure that pitchers have an advantage at least first time around the lineup when they've never seen these guys, and Kamenicki has changed his speeds very well. Is that generally the logic in the dugout? The first time through, everybody watches real closely.
Well, yeah, over the course of the years, you always hear hitters complain about the fact that they don't like to hit off pitchers they haven't seen before. Kamenicki spending his time in the American League. So as you mentioned, Jeffrey's the only hitter on the club that had even seen Kamenicki at all, and that was only 2 appearances. So the advantage goes to the pitcher because you just don't know until you see it firsthand what he's got. And really the biggest disadvantage, besides not knowing how good his stuff is you don't know what kind of patterns that he pitches in. What pitch does he like to throw when he's ahead in the count? What pitch does he like to throw when he's behind in the count?
Foul tip. Of course, the Orioles have never seen Garrett Stevenson unless they faced him in an inter-squad game early in March over the last couple of seasons. But they've seen 56 pitches from Stevenson through 2 innings. Ripped for a base hit. So Stocker pulls the ball in the hole for the Phillies' second hit. He's a 1-out base runner for Rob Butler.
With 2 strikes on him, Stocker just kind of cuts the swing down a little bit, waits to see where the pitch is, and able to line it past Palmeiro into right field. It's the advantage of being able to cut your swing down a little bit when you have 2 strikes. Some hitters will, some won't. Kevin, definitely one of the guys that does cut his swing down, just tries to make solid contact, hoping he can get the ball through the infield somewhere, and worked out for him that time around.
Butler bounced out to Alomar to start the ball game. A good play to his right, but then on Morandini made an outstanding play even further to his right. Alomar cheating in about 3 or 4 steps at second base. That's high. You look at where Alomar positions himself, and I guess you would kind of call that halfway.
Yeah, it's double play depth when they're, when you have a runner on first base and you have to be in position to get to the bag and make the double play, you have to get closer to the bag somehow. Well, you can either move over toward the bag to get closer, or you can move toward home plate, which cuts down the distance to the bag. All middle infielders will do that with a man on first. Alomar a little more than most.
Fouled straight back.
Most infielders will take a couple steps in and maybe a step over toward the bag. Alomar tries to maintain his positioning, at least the line that he's positioned on, and will come way up. So he actually takes about 3 steps straight in as opposed to 2 in and 1 over.
Well, he is defining that position for the 1990s. 1-1 on Butler. Laker sets up inside. Throw over. Stocker's stolen 5 bases, has been caught twice. Obviously a little bit more opportunity to run out of the 9 spot when he's on base than out of the 8 hole. Diving. Phils trail 1-0, top third. Orioles have left 5 through 2 innings. Stocker goes. Hit and run is perfected. Stocker will get third standing on the line drive base hit by Rob Butler. That's a clean single regardless of moving infielders. And right in front of Kevin Stocker, so he first to third without a throw.
Same general direction as Butler hit the ball the first time, but with Alomar up, no chance for him to make a play as that ball goes right back through the middle. You see Kevin Stocker was off and moving on the pitch, takes a peek back, sees the ball go through in front of him, so he's able to cruise right around to third base. Phillies now with runners on the corner. Just one out in the inning and a chance to get this game even, maybe do a little more damage.
For Mickey Morandini. Neither infielder really broke to cover second as the ball was hit right toward the bag. Off-speed pitch is up.
The infielders, middle infielders in particular, will try to hold their ground as long as possible on a play like that, just so that they can protect their area defensively. Alomar and Rebele feeling that they still have enough speed that even though they wait a little while longer, they can get to the bag in time for the throw from the catcher.
Swung on to center field. Anderson back in front of the wall, pulls it down deep enough to score Kevin Stocker with the tying run. RBI number 14 for Morandini, who hit that to the deepest part of the ballpark for a sacrifice fly.
With one out and runners on the corners, you want to get the ball in the air deep enough to get the run in. A ground ball double play could end the inning. Kamenicki tries to keep the ball down normally, does a good job of it right there, but Morandini with a better job of going down and getting that pitch, getting it airborne all the way to the track in center field. The Phillies even the ball game up at 1 as Mickey Morandini goes to the plate and gets his job done. Give him an RBI. Got number 14 on the year for Mick.
So Darren Dalton, who has the longest continuous service of any National League player with the same club, faces Baltimore, which has the player with the longest continuous service in baseball, Cal Ripken.
Couple old war horses right there.
Absolutely.
They have been around. They have seen a lot. Not bad players either, by the way. That's how you stay around a long time when you see a lot. Play good.
Inside corner. Darren's service to Philadelphia began in 1980. Ripken's service with the Orioles in 1978. Reached the major leagues in 81. Amazing career. Swung on and driven to right field, high and deep. Hammonds in front of the track, though, has it for out number 3. Phillies get a couple of base hits and a sacrifice fly to get the ball game tied at 1.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
This is the 97 Dodge Avenger. It offers huge 17-inch tires for stability, a rigid body structure for quiet, and a sophisticated system of valves and bushings for optimum tuning of ride and handling. We thought we'd start there, because if we started with Avenger's new design, we'd never get your attention back to bushings and valves. Now get 3.9% financing for 60 months or cash back.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Well, Phillies fans, here's your chance to stop dreaming. Suit up every day in your Phillies uniform under the Florida sun with some of the greatest Phillies stars of all times. The special 15th anniversary Phillies Dream Week. Reserve a space now. Call 215-938-1200. Come join us in beautiful Clearwater, Florida for Phillies Dream Week.
Downtown ballpark. The Romo Seltzer clock, which stands high atop the left field wall, just a couple of blocks. Haven't had one leave the yard over the left field wall.
I don't think that's going to happen, Larry.
Not likely.
That's a long way out there and rather high.
Rafael Palmeiro to start it. Swings through a changeup. Garrett Stevenson has made a ton of pitches through the first couple of innings. Has left 5 Orioles stranded through 2 and is in a 1-1 ball game, bottom 3. This is Palmeiro's 4th season in Baltimore on a 5-year free agent contract. As Teak was saying, he's one of those players that will have his contract expire at the age of 35. Have gone through the big numbers, and there'll be a lot of decisions made with this ball club over the next year to 18 months. The other way foul.
You hear a lot about Rafael Palmeiro and his ability to swing the bat, and it is some great ability that he has. Also a very good defensive first baseman. Had a very rare game last night where he made 3 errors in the ball game. Rafael Palmeiro, one of the better glove men in the American League, but had one of those nightmare nights last night as he made 3 errors and made a couple good plays over there too.
Just missed. Of course, broke in as a National Leaguer. First round pick in '85 and got his first major league hit against Philadelphia.
As a member of the Chicago Cubs.
Tom Hughes, the victim. Rowland giving it a look, but that'll reach the seats by plenty. His first big league home run also off the Phils. Off that Kevin Gross. Well, for all his terrific numbers, he's only been an All-Star twice. And last year knocked in 142 runs with 39 home runs and was not an All-Star, just below us.
Well, first base is a tough position in the American League to make an All-Star team. I mean, when Palmeiro first came into the league, of course, Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly with the New York Yankees was playing in the All-Star game year after year after year.
That is smoked to right field, high, deep, and gone. Palmeiro got all of that. Home run number 15, and the Orioles go back on top, 2-1.
The Phillies tie the ball game up in their part of the 3rd inning. Rafael Palmeiro, first hitter in the bottom of the 4th, unties the ball game with a deep home run to right field. Take a look at the classic Palmeiro swing. Ball belt high. Again, Stevenson getting hurt with pitches up in the strike zone. This one just below the belt buckle, and Rafael Palmeiro got all of that one as he heads it out toward Utah Street. Didn't quite make it, but it was close.
Career home run number 248 for Palmeiro, and career RBI Teak number 900. Ripken singled and knocked in the game's first run in the first, as he went with an off-speed Stevenson delivery to right field. Fister. Mickey will take it on the hop. for out number 1. Interesting decision by Morandini, as he could have been caught with a tweener. He backed up on the play.
It's one of those plays, Larry, where you have to make a decision when the ball comes off the bat. Ripken very jammed on that pitch. Hard for Mickey to tell how far the ball was going to carry. Elected to back up and try to play a little bit longer hop. Didn't think he could get to it before it would hit the ground. Didn't want to play it on the short hop. Tough play for him as that ball was spinning sideways, but he was able to make it.
Well, Morandini will not be an all-star, as we've told you, so we'll start lobbying for the Gold Glove instead. His fielding at second has been stellar. Of course, Biggio, who's the all-star starter, is already in double figures in errors. I believe he has 13, or did the last time I looked. But sometimes good hitting, good reputation, good numbers means Gold Glove. In Mickey's case, it certainly should not.
You know, over the years, I've seen a lot of cases where Gold Gloves are won with the bat instead of the glove.
Morandini has just 2 errors all year. Learned second base as a professional after being an Olympic team shortstop. And we've got 2 of the best in the game on the field today, Alomar and Morandini. A ball and 2 strikes on Surhoff. Changes down. Another full count for Stevenson. Galen Cisco with that clicker going, sees that Stevenson's approaching 70 pitches. Stocker out number 2. Of course, Garrett Stevenson came over to the Phillies along with Calvin Maduro. Was the 18th player selected by the Orioles in '92, made 3 relief appearances in August of '96 before that September 4th trade, which sent Incaviglia and Zeal to Baltimore. Inky's still on board here as a member of the Baltimore Orioles.
Of course, both of those guys, Maduro on Monday, Stevenson today, getting a start in this series. The one guy with Baltimore ties on the Phillies pitching staff that is not going to appear in this series is Curt Schilling. Schilling early on in his career with the Baltimore Orioles before he went to the Houston Astros. There's the All-Star. I wonder if he's got the word yet. I would imagine the word filtered down to the clubhouse already.
Strike 3 called outside corner. So after giving up the go-ahead home run, Stevenson comes back with a strong 3rd inning. The Baltimore Orioles lead the Phils 2-1 through 3.
Budweiser. I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing. That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
No.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
America's best-selling car is now America's best summer value. Now through July 7th, get $1,500 cash back or low 1.9% financing for 48 months on Ford Taurus. Or drive America's best-selling car for only $198 a month. Only $198 a month for 24 months. There has never been a better deal on America's most popular car. Ford Taurus, now $198 a month or 1.9 financing, but only through July 7th and only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Superstars t-shirt featuring some of your favorite Major League Baseball superstars. Courtesy of Pico Energy when the Phillies play the Cardinals Sunday, August 3rd at 1:35. Good seat locations start at just $5. Call 463-1000.
Time now for another edition of Interleague Playback, the I-95 World Series of 1983. And after the Phillies had won Game 1, it was pretty much all Orioles the rest of the way. Gary Maddox, the line drive, the final out of the ball game, caught by one Cal Ripken on a 5-hit shutout for Scott McGregor and the Baltimore Orioles of 1983, their last World Championship. Phillies won Game 1 on the Maddox home run of the 8th, and then the Orioles swept games 2 through 5, and that Rick Dempsey, the catcher, who homered in Game 5, wound up as the MVP, and Jim Palmer played an interesting role. He's now the color commentator for the Orioles television network in that 83 World Series. Ripken was just a lad 14 years ago. Scott Rowland takes inside. Palmer was not scheduled to start in any game in '83, and there was some controversy, I remember, in the Orioles camp because this future Hall of Famer was out of the rotation in 1983. It was kind of sitting out in the bullpen as Rowland goes deep to left field. It is crushed and gone. Out of here off the bat, Scott Rowland, home run number 9, RBI 43. He matches Palmeiro. We're tied at 2.
Leadoff home runs the thing of the day. Rafael Palmeiro in the bottom of the 3rd. Scott Rowland answers in top of the 4th. Both of them, no doubters, as Rowland sends it deep. Watch out, folks. That one's coming in the living room.
Wow. Bronya, the batter. As indeed we're tied 2-2 top 4. We'll pay off that 83 World Series story for you when we get a moment. Bronya takes that one away. Your leading candidate for the National League Rookie of the Year, Scott Rowland.
Go hit a bomb, go get a drink.
To short left field for Surhoff. Out number 1 in that 83 World Series. Phils won the first game. John Denny won it. Cy Young Award winner. Lost the second game like Boddicker. And then it was Flanagan-Carlton game 3. And Flanagan got yanked in the 5th inning. Phils on top. Palmer came in, shut the door. Orioles came back, beat Steve Carlton. Palmer gets a win in relief, one of the few relief wins of his entire career. And then the O's win games 4 and game 5, and suddenly they're world champions. So a rare relief and a rare win for Palmer.
I wonder, we'll have to take a look, see if we can find how many relief appearances Palmer made in his whole career. Jim Palmer, a perennial 20-game winner, as you mentioned, member of the Hall of Fame. And the anchor for so many years of this Baltimore Orioles staff.
Greg Jeffries hit one high off the wall. There's that 83 World Championship banner. Jeffries disagrees as that's low and outside, called a strike. It's 2-1. Jim Palmer pitched in 558 games and started 521 of them. And won a World Series game in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. The year he did not win a World Series game was 1979.
He pitched in that one, though.
He did. Had a loss and a no decision. The Orioles have a banner here, one of the more famous banners that celebrates the 3 World Series championships, and they have the years in each of the 3 corners. And my color commentator Kent DeCovey noticed that there was a great spot available for a banner for a 4th corner for 1979. As that's pulled foul.
That one didn't quite happen.
That didn't happen.
Didn't quite happen. Back in 1979, we were down with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We were down 3-1 to the Orioles, and we were facing the next 3 pitchers we had to see were Palmer, Flanagan, and McGregor. I mean, and you know, these guys are all 20-game winners, and Jim Palmer, a Hall of Famer. You know, you think your chances aren't real good, but somehow or another we scratched out a win against Palmer and then able to keep it going.
Jeffries is 2 for 2. See if he can leg this one. He will turn for second. Surhoff's throw is on the money, and he is out at second base. Jeffries tries to stretch it into a double, and a fine throw by Surhoff rubs him out. That is put out 7-4.
Not a bad decision by Jeffries. As Surhoff has to go well over toward the line to get this ball. With 1 out, you want to take a chance of trying to get yourself in scoring position. But Surhoff, with a perfect throw to second base, allows Alomar to make the tag at second and get Jeffries.
That's very close as he tags the trail leg. But Jeffries called out by Dale Ford.
That would be a bad decision to make with nobody out. But with 1 or 2 outs, a chance to get yourself in scoring position, not all that bad a chance to take.
So Jeffries 2 singles, one high off the wall that he held at first, the other a roller down the left field line, thrown out at second base. Interesting that President Clinton is here when you're here doing a game, because 18 years ago the president was here to watch you pitch a game.
I've been in the same place with presidents twice, and they've both been in Baltimore.
That president, of course, was
Jimmy Carter, who was here for the 7th game of the World Series in '79, came down to the clubhouse after the ball game. Jeffries in toweling off after trying to stretch that single into a double unsuccessfully.
Of course, Willie Stargell had the best line in the clubhouse, as expected, right?
Yeah, well, that was typical of Willie. Hold off on that for just a second.
That's to short left field. And out number 3. We'll polish that up for you when we come back. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
Introducing the revolutionary skincare formula, So Relief, designed to relieve the itching, flaking, irritation, and redness of psoriasis, eczema, and dermatitis. And now this FDA-approved formula is available for the first time without a prescription.
I've been a pharmacist for over 20 years, and I've seen a lot of products. So Relief works better than any of them.
Nothing's worked like the So Relief, including prescription drugs.
I have recommended it, and some of my friends have had very good results with it.
Believe me, it'll work, and you won't give it up.
So Relief's exclusive patented formula quickly penetrates your skin, leaving it smooth and free from irritation. Get your So Relief today at the introductory price of only $19.95. And if you order now, you'll also get the incredible So Relief Intensive Moisturizing Cream, free. All this for just $19.95. To order, call 1-800-242-4200. That's 1-800-242-4200. So Relief is also available at fine retailers everywhere.
America Online's Digital City, Philadelphia.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers, by your Quality Plus Ford dealers in the all-new Ford Escort, by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Great ball game underway, bottom 4 with Kent DeCovey. I'm Larry Rosen. Happy to have you with us for Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies have gotten Garrett Stevenson tied a couple of times. Now it's time for him to shut the door, as that's a foul ball. Tim Laker bidding for his first hit as an Oriole just got in front of the changeup that was high and pulled it foul. Mike Riley at third. Got a good look at this one.
Yeah, Riley turns around in perfect position to make the call as the ball lands about 6 inches on the foul side of that white stripe down the left field line. Umpires like those kind, the ones that they're already nice and close to. It's the ones that are way down in the corner. They have to try to sprint out there on a hooking line drive that gives them all kinds of problems.
Change, swing and a miss. Teague, it's a big inning for Garrett Stevenson right here.
Yeah, anytime that your club comes back and scores a run to tie the ball game up, you obviously you want to try to get through a nice quick inning, get your club back in the dugout while you have that good feeling going. Get that momentum on your side.
And he's 0-2 to Laker. Just missed.
Let's finish that story about Willie Stargell and President Carter. Willie, quite the character, not all of what you saw on the field was Willie Stargell's personality. He had a much lighter side to him, and we were in Old Memorial Stadium across town. Laker fouls that one back. Of course, Memorial Stadium now the home of the Baltimore Ravens until their new stadium down the street gets completed. But after the game, President Carter comes into the locker room, and Willie shakes his hand. Mr. President, nice to meet you. And he looks at him and says, by the way, do you have any peanuts? Jimmy Carter, of course, from Georgia.
Strike 3 swinging. The peanut farmer from Plains. Strikeout number 5 for Garrett Stevenson. It's a perennial fantastic show. Spectacular fireworks set to music following the Phils and Cubs on a couple of different nights. Tomorrow and Saturday, 7:05. If you love fireworks, make it a full evening of baseball and fireworks. Good seats remain. 463-1000. Stop by the Center City Ticket Office, Mellon, PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets.
First pitch over the outside corner. Just a note on tomorrow night's ball game, Larry. You mentioned the fireworks. Fans that are planning on coming to the stadium and taking in that fireworks show after the ball game. The game starts at 7:05 tomorrow night as opposed to the normal 7:35. Try to get the fireworks underway just a little earlier so the folks can enjoy them and get home at a decent hour. So if you're coming to the ballpark tomorrow, remember, if you want to see the first pitch, 7:05.
First pitch will be thrown by an all-star. Kurt Schilling looks for win number 10. Some assumptions being made about Schill by Terry Francona in terms of how to schedule him over the next couple of weeks as he's charting Stevenson's start today in anticipation of his tomorrow. And Terry said, hey, if Schill wants to pitch in the All-Star game, I'm sure that they'll give him a chance to because he's the league leader in strikeouts. That might back him up a day or two to get back on his regular schedule. So Terry said he's going to just watch. It's going to be up to Schill, whatever they do with him. And I guess that's kind of normal with that kind of honor.
Yeah, when you get to that point of the season, you kind of look at your all-star starters and, especially the pitchers and try to figure out where they're at on rest going into the All-Star game.
That's well foul. So Schill's scheduled to go Saturday. I'm sorry, make that Thursday.
So that would give him 1, 2, 3, 4 days rest going into the All-Star game. So he would have his full rest as he heads into the All-Star game tomorrow. Kurt Schilling and Jeremy Gonzalez for the Chicago Cubs. Gonzalez having a pretty good season himself after his recall.
If you can't make it to the ball game, we'll be on Prism Television tomorrow. Our first pitch pregame show at 6:30, then the ball game at 7 with Chris Wheeler, Kent DeColvey, and some guy named Rosen.
Who will be there for that pregame show?
Ball 4 globally. If Schill did not pitch in the All-Star game, he would be scheduled to go the first game after the break at Florida. But Terry was kind of messing around with the idea that if he went an inning or even 2 on Tuesday, then he would likely come back on Friday. So we'll see how it works out.
Well, the good news is, in the way things fall, is that when he gets to the All-Star game, he's on his full rest. So he's not going to be put in a situation where to pitch an inning or 2 in the All-Star game, he has to do it on a short rest and takes a chance of injuring himself. He's on that proper schedule to pitch on Tuesday.
Anderson high on the infield. Stocker calls it all the way. Out number 2. Garrett Stevenson's yielded just 3 hits through 3 2/3.
He's also struck out 5, but the number that's bothersome in his run to pitch count up is the fact that he's also walked 5 batters to this point in the ballgame.
Alomar has walked singled, stole a base, scored a run, and shown us why he's a 6-time Gold Glover. That's up. Even with 2 out, Scott Rowland, respecting Alomar's ability to lay it down and beat it out to set up Baroa with a couple of runners on, is playing a step or so in front of the bag. (2-0).
You'll see Scott Rowland do that a lot. He trusts his ability and his reactions to be able to play up that close and still make the plays on a hard hit ball that way. Third baseman who doesn't feel that he's quite comfortable with his reaction time would play a little deeper. You see Scotty now backing up as he feels that Alomar ahead in the count will not be bunting, so he tries to buy a little more territory. 3 balls, no strikes now on Robbie Alomar.
Alomar batted .348 in the month of June. Lieberthal pointing down, reminding Stevenson to keep an eye on the base runner. He had a green light. Didn't get much of a swing at it, tapped it foul.
Davey Johnson likes to turn his hitters loose. He's not afraid to give the hitters a 3-0 green light. This is a club that, you know, hits a lot of long balls, and no better pitch to try to take a good whack at one except 3-0.
That is walk number 6 for Stevenson. Mentioned Davey Johnson, the skipper of the Baltimore Orioles, who did indeed spend a little bit of time in a Phillies uniform in '77 and a part of '78. He is finished first or in the postseason with every team he's ever managed, New York, Cincinnati, and now Baltimore, and has the highest winning percentage among all active managers, ahead of Felipe Alou. That's with managers who've managed 500 games or 3 seasons or so, and took the O's to their first postseason appearance in 13 years a year ago. Cemented his success by beating Cleveland in the divisional series in the dirt.
Kind of shows the way managers go nowadays if you keep changing around. Johnson with the best active winning percentage, and yet he's been with 3 different ball clubs, so managers changed quite often. Even the successful ones move around. Jim Leyland moves on this year down to the Florida Marlins from Pittsburgh. He had been very successful there. Of course, the Dodgers just the opposite. They get a manager in Los Angeles who stays forever. Walter Alston there for a long, long time, and then Tommy Lasorda forever. Now Bill Russell in the 2nd year of his tenure, hoping that his time in L.A. will be as long as his 2 predecessors. But the only job security you got is to be a manager of the Dodgers. Other than that, you might be looking for one every once in a while.
Stevenson behind Baroa at 2-0 with 2 on 2 out. Fastball to Stocker. The stock option says second base for out number 3, and Stevenson has now stranded 7 Orioles through 4 innings, and we're tied at 2 at Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Here's a look at this week's Mellon PSFS Financial Scoreboard, featuring our best CD rates.
When I call, I don't want to get bounced around or put on hold.
When that phone rings, your name is Mrs. Langley? It's my call, it's no one else's. And check this problem for you. And it's up to me to get whatever answers you need, no matter what. All the information that I need is easily accessible and at my fingertips. Did you say you're experiencing flickering lights? If I can't find the answer, my coworkers will help me out. I enjoy dealing with people.
Yes, we'll be glad.
Thank you for calling Pico Energy. My name is Demetrius. How may I help you?
What happens when you move the cab forward in a cab forward car? In a Dodge Neon, passengers get more room. The driver gets better control. As for the price, draw your own conclusions. Now, during the National Dodge Sale, Dodge Neon is available with 3.9% 60-month financing. Or take $1,000 of cash back. whatever pushes your buttons. Neon, the new Dodge.
Time now for our Discover Card Payback Playback. It came in this ballpark in 1993 when John Kruk faced Randy Johnson, and his first pitch went to the backstop, and then the comic relief began, T.
Yeah, Johnson, who was notorious for being tough on left-handers anyway, but when Krucker went to the plate against him here at Camden Yards, not only was it entertaining for Krucker and for Johnson, but also the Big Hurt and all the American Leaguers. They're saying, hey, you guys are finally getting an idea of what it is to hit off this guy. A big breaking ball by Johnson. Krucker says, thank goodness.
I am not worthy.
Thank goodness this one's over with and I didn't get hit.
And Johnson works a one. Even Johnson had a bit of a smile on his face the last time the All-Star game was in this ballpark. We move to the top of the fifth. Good ball game, tied at 2. As Mike Lieberthal will lead it off against Scott Kamenicki.
I think John Kruk got a whole year's worth of one-liners out of that one at bat. He kept recounting the story over and over again to players as he went around the league.
Lieberthal to right center field. Anderson, a long run, won't get there. That'll be a ground rule double for Mike Lieberthal. As his extra base numbers continue, he now has 24 extra base hits, in 44 hits, or an extra base percentage of 54%, and he goes the other way.
Yeah, this one up a little bit by Kamenicki as he loops that breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Levy able to stay back and get the ball elevated into right center field. Anderson with a long run just can't quite get there, and that rubberized track bounds the ball over the wall in right center field. So Mike Lieberthal lead-off double. The Phillies trying to figure out a way to get him home and get in front of this ball game.
Will Stocker be bunting? Not on the first pitch. It's low. Ripken way in at third. Palmeiro even with the bag at first. You see Ripken will cheat in even a step or two from there.
And the decision at this point is, do you think Kevin Stocker can pull the ball on the ground to the right side of the infield against Kamenicki? If he can, then there's no reason to have him bunt.
He pulled a base hit in his first at-bat.
Because, the worst case scenario, if you pull it to the right side, is a ground ball to Alomar or Palmeiro, and Lieberthal moves over to third base. Best case scenario is he gets one through over there and get runners, get Stocker on and possibly Lieberthal across the plate or at least to third base.
He pulls it, Palmeiro, and they won't be able to move Lieberthal. He'll use his pitcher for out number 1. And Palmeiro being up that tight, Lieberthal would have been dead duck if he went on contact.
See, Palmeiro moves up and plays in front of the bag. Almost an infield in-type defense. So Lieberthal not able to move over to third base. Palmeiro had been playing back and then just moved up in perfect time to make that play. Of course, Mike Lieberthal was not the greatest of speed at second base. Has to hold his ground, so even though Stocker's able to get the ball on the ground to the right side, Lieberthal not able to move up 90 feet.
So he's at second with 1 out for Rob Butler. Inside a ball. Butler singled in the third on a perfectly executed hit and run with Kevin Stocker that led to the Morandini sacrifice fly for the Phillies' first run. In the dirt. It's 2-0. Butler with a dozen RBIs in limited playing time. You see why. Off the end of the bat. 2-1. off-speed pitch on 2 hops to Alomar. So Lieberthal will get to third, where it'll take a 2-out base hit for Mickey Morandini to put the Phillies ahead.
That's a ground ball right there. The Phillies were looking for from Stalker. Ground ball to second base. That would have moved Lieberthal over to third base, but unfortunately Stalker hit it to Palmeiro, who had moved up at first. So it's going to take, as you mentioned, a 2-out base hit from Morandini to get the go-ahead run across the plate.
Mick with a sacrifice fly in the third. Ball 1. It's amazing. Lieberthal, 10 home runs, 14 doubles now, and 20 singles. Up and in. Kamenicki went 2-0 on Stocker, got him on a ground ball. Went 2-0 on Butler, got him on a ground ball. And now Mickey in a good hitting position with Darren Dalton waiting on deck. Kamenicki working over the pitching rubber. Looks like a changeup's coming. It is. It's down. And it's 3-0.
You mentioned Kamenicki likes to throw the changeup when he's behind in the count, and especially with Morandini a chance to drive in the go-ahead run. Goes to that changeup, misses with it. So now 3-0.
That's high, ball 4. So runners will be on the corners for Darren Dalton with 2 out in the 5th.
I don't think he started out to walk Morandini in that at bat, but once he fell behind, it became kind of a pitch around situation with the open base. Kamenicki not giving in to Mickey as he threw in the 3-0 changeup and the high fastball, or excuse me, 2-0 changeup and the high fastball on 3-1. Take a look at Arthur Rhodes, a left-hander throwing in the Orioles bullpen. He just got up and started warming, so don't know what the pitch count is on Kamenicki, but David Johnson obviously decided this is about the time to get his bullpen unfurled out there.
Strike 1 on the off speed to Darren Dalton. Dalton has just missed a couple of times, has hit 2 fly balls to right field. As the big hole to shoot through with Palmeiro holding Morandini.
Kamenicki now at 78 pitches as he approaches that 80 mark. Mentioned that he had elbow problems in the past. Don't know, since we don't see the Orioles on a regular basis, if they keep a little closer leash on him or not because of those elbow problems.
Well, he hasn't thrown a complete game. And has not gone to the 8th inning yet all year. 1-1 to Darren Dalton. Outside corner strike call. Darren has scuffled in this position since mid-May. It's Lieberthal less than 90 feet away. Again, they want to go away. First, the check over for Morandini, who is likely planted on first base with Dalton batting.
Yeah, with Mickey over at first base, that opens up the hole on the right side, and Darren likes to pull the ball, gives him a little better area to get the ball through, try to get this go-ahead run across the plate.
It's 2-2.
Kamenicki has really been working him away a lot. He started him off with the breaking ball, and everything else has been away, trying to keep Dutch from pulling the ball on that right side.
Those wise eyes of Darren Dalton awaiting a 2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit the other way, high and shallow. The crowd cheers, anticipating the catch by Serhov. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Midway through this one, Phils and Orioles tied at 2.
Can you name the seafood capital of the Northeast? Benny the Bum's Crab House and Bar is the seafood capital of the Northeast. We have fresh crabs voted best of Philly flown in daily from Texas, and fresh live lobsters from 1 to 15 pounds. Plus a full line of fresh seafood, chicken, steak, and pasta specialties. Benny's also offers exotic gourmet seafood specials prepared by 5-star chefs. And Benny's has a large bar that's always busy. Come visit the seafood capital of the Northeast, Benny the Bum's Crab House and Bar on Bustleton Avenue and Red Lion Road, the seafood capital.
Do you need your home or office cleaned? Then call Swift Brothers. They do it all. Carpet and upholstery cleaning, wall and window washing, floor waxing, and they specialize in fire and water damage restoration. Call Swift Brothers now for your home or office cleaning needs.
Having electrical problems? Call Gambino Electrical Contractors anytime, day or night, 7 days a week. Call now and receive a free home electrical inspection with any scheduled job over $200. Call now 610-277-6954 or 215-563-5466.
Right field, it's gone!
Yesterday's news, I mean, that's old. That's old to me.
Check this out. Here's what it's called.
The all-new ZX2.
I first thought on TV.
It wasn't a hard decision.
The ZX2, Z-Tech engine, quadra-link suspension, and available 6-disc CD. Oh, yeah.
It even has this. It's a keyless entry.
Just hugs the corners.
Neat. Panic?
It's affordable, it's reliable, it's yours with 1.9 financing for 48 months.
ZX2.
Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
That's the world-renowned aquarium across the harbor from our location. And we are at Oriole Park, Camden Yards, tied at 2, heading bottom of the 5th. Final day of this road trip. We'll come back to Philadelphia for an action-packed, fun-filled series with the Cubs. You got fireworks after the game tomorrow night. Run the bases for all kids 14 and under on July 4th, the 105 start. Then fireworks again on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Modell Sporting Goods Independence Day baseball caps. For tickets, it's 463-1000. Ask about daily specials. Something for everyone. Cubs and Phils coming up beginning tomorrow.
The series with the Cubs, the final series before the All-Star break. Kurt Schilling will head to Cleveland. We will all stay tuned to see how he does on Tuesday night.
Rafael Palmeiro homered in his last at-bat to give Baltimore a short-lived 2-1 lead. Stevenson's missed fastball, has missed changeup, goes fastball, and it's pulled but hooking foul. Palmeiro's home run, RBI number 900 in his career.
Take a look at this pitch from Stevenson's. Lieberthal down and away. The ball belt high on the inside part of the plate. And see Palmeiro right there as he shakes his hand to turn the bat over. Rafael Palmeiro, when he first came to the major leagues with the Chicago Cubs, and then the time that he spent with the Texas Rangers, pretty much of a spray hitter, hit the ball all over the ballpark. Since coming to Baltimore, has become much more of a pull hitter with that scoreboard out in right field and the short dimensions down the right field line here at Camden Yards.
Way up in the air to dead straightaway center field, and pitch number 100 from Garrett Stevenson is out number 1 in the 5th.
Third baseman, Cal Ripken. They have to figure right now at that 100-pitch mark that Terry Francona, Galen Cisco kind of keeping an eye on Stevenson as he has thrown a lot of pitches early in this ball game. Now at the 101-pitch mark.
Here's Cal Ripken. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. He is among the greats of the game, climbing the charts in the 30s or 40s in most all-time rankings. Home runs, games, RBIs, and closing in on some other Hall of Famers. Will turn 37 next month. Half swing, did he? He did. It's Brian O'Nora, first base umpire.
And he gets the obligatory boos here in Camden Yards. If you ever call a check swing here on Cal Ripken a strike, you have to face the music.
Cal was a second-round selection team in '78. As that is pulled foul, and the Orioles publicity people in their media guide list all the players selected before Cal Ripken. Just as a na-na-na-na, you could have had him, but, you know, he's like the 44th player selected in the draft out of the Baltimore area. And not a bad pick for a second rounder. That looked like it was right there. Full count call.
Of course, Cal grew up here in the Baltimore area due to the fact that his father, Cal Sr., longtime coach and one-time manager of his Orioles, longtime coach with Earl Weaver during Weaver's tenure as manager of the Orioles.
Ripped to right field for the second hit of the day for Cal Ripken. Among some of those players selected in advance of Cal Ripken, well, the Phillies picked Rip Rollins as their first pick as Cal again goes the other way.
Yeah, again for the second time in this ball game, pretty good pitch by Stevenson down and away, but Ripken, disciplined hitter that he is, doesn't try to pull it, just lines it into right field in front of Amaro.
The 18th player selected in the 1978 draft, and one of the few active players remaining, was Rex Hudler, picked before Cal Ripken. First player picked was Bob Horner, Lloyd Mosby, Hubie Brooks, Mike Morgan at the very top of the draft. Kid out of the Philadelphia area, Tito Manning, was the 6th player chosen. Kurt Gibson was in that first round.
Some pretty good players.
Yeah, that was, you know.
Now, that was not one of those what they would call lean years in the draft.
I'll give you some of the other ones: Lenny Fiedo, Robert Hicks, Bill Hayes.
Well, I didn't say they were all stars. No, I just said there was not a lean draft. There was some talent in that draft.
And one of the guys picked right in front of him was that Buddy Biancalana out of Kansas City. Tap foul. Left-hander Billy Brewer is up and throwing in the Phillies bullpen. As Teague told you, likely a short leash now on Garrett Stevenson as he's crossed the 100 pitch plateau. He has battled, left 7, walked 6, struck out 5, and yielded just 4 hits. It's Francona with the signals to Mike Lieberthal. It's 1-2 on Surhoff. Fastball to center field. Butler barely has to move. Out number 2. Teague, how much different do you play your bullpen when you don't have to worry about the double switch and pinch hitting and the like? It's a straight up pitching decision, obviously, huh?
Yeah, when you have the designated hitter, it's basically, you know, how well is my pitcher pitching and how much longer can he go? You don't have that strategic decision that you have to make, you know, when you're down a run or even late in the ball game, and should I or shouldn't I hit for my pitcher because he's not in the lineup. So you, as an opposing team, you can't force a pitcher out of the ball game by working down to the bottom of the order. So it's strictly based on how well he is pitching at this point and how much longer you think he can go.
Jeff Hammonds has struck out swinging and has struck out looking. To right center field, high and deep. Amaro looking up, says, I've got it. And he does. So 3 fly balls in a strong inning for Garrett Stevenson. Still a pair of 2s through 5.
You can roll the back seat on a Dodge Caravan this way, that way, to the garage, out of the garage, every which way. Even the price is easy to handle. During the National Dodge Sale, you'll find all kinds of great offers on Dodge Caravan, including up to $1,000 cash back to close the deal. Caravan, the new Dodge.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
How's it going? Hi there. Hey, it's my first camera day. How you doing? Hello. You're a shy one, aren't you? How are you? Can I have that back? No? Please? Thank you. Hi there. There you go. Sure. I hope you have a good ear. Thank you. Thank you. I'd just like to get a hit tonight.
There will be a new part of the skyline in downtown Baltimore, just a couple of blocks away. The new home for the Baltimore Ravens of the NFL. And you can see, well, you can park at that location and either walk left and come into Oriole Park or cut under the highway and head over to the new home of the Baltimore Ravens. So the city of Baltimore is leading in downtown stadium construction at the moment.
Ravens, of course, playing at the old Memorial Stadium right now. That new stadium that's being built is actually on part of the parking lot that was built for Camden Yards originally. So there's a few parking spots, but you get a nice neighbor next door, and it's kind of one of those situations almost like you have in Kansas City, where you have the side-by-side stadiums and the common parking for both.
Very aggressive Maryland Stadium Authority, the official owners of this ballpark. And of course, that was one of the pledges to get NFL football back to Baltimore. Scott Rowland hit a long home run, his 9th in the 4th inning. It's now 1-1. Scotty's 44th RBI, leading all National League rookies.
Kamenicki with 84 pitches in this ball game so far. Quite a few less than Garrett Stevenson, who's already over the 100 mark, although even at this point into the top of the 6th inning, 84 pitches a lot.
That is crushed to left center field. Scott Rowland does it again. His 2nd home run, and the Phillies have their first lead of the afternoon. Scotty hits those no doubt about it home runs, his 10th of the year.
Scott Rowland for the 2nd time this afternoon goes deep, this time into the Baltimore Oriole bullpen. As he lines this pitch right here, number 10 on the year, 2nd of the ball game. Phillies out in front, 3-2. Scott Rowland in that leadoff spot has been lethal today. 2 times up there, 2 times gone deep.
Ripken on Grundy's tapper, route number 1. That is a short swing. Compact and quick.
Yeah, and that's what's going to make Scott Rowland a good hitter over time, is the fact that he does not have that real long swing. That's the kind of swing that will put you in slumps sometimes. You know, you can do great things when you make contact, but you have a tendency to, you know, not do that. If Rowland decides I'm going to follow the same formula, go deep, go get a drink. That worked the last time. Do it again. Maybe I'll get up one more time. I mentioned both of Rowland's home runs in this ballgame have come as a leadoff hitter. Scotty has led off 3 times in this ballgame. Struck out the first time, didn't quite have it figured out in the 2nd, and then homers in the 4th and the 6th.
Jeffries has had an unusual day, to say the least. Banged one off the top of the wall in right field and held at first with a single, and then base hit inside 3rd, thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. So he's 2 of 2. That home run by Rowland measured at 409 feet.
Arthur Rhodes continuing to throw in the bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles. His wake-up call may have came via the baseball that just landed out there. Compliments of Scott Rowland.
Had Scott's 2nd career 2 home run day. His first one last August. His first one of 1997. Home runs number 9 and 10. RBIs 44 and 45. Got to get a couple of base runners in front of him.
Well,
that would mess up your leadoff.
Yeah, got to get him out of the leadoff spot.
Jeffries tomahawks a high pitch, foul. So it's still 2-2.
Just in case anybody at home, when they saw Rhodes out there throwing, would even have the slightest thing in the back of their mind about the fact he may be warming up with the ball that Roland just hit into the bullpen, not a prayer.
No.
Relief pitchers would never touch a baseball that was hit out of the ballpark by an opposing player. It was one of your guys maybe, but somebody else, no way.
Jeffries defeats that one with a defensive 2-strike swing.
Those balls that come flying into your bullpen have bad karma.
Absolutely.
You don't want to deal with them.
We saw Brewer was up earlier for the Phils. Now that they've gotten the lead, and Stevenson has gotten through the 5th.
Yeah, Jerry
takes
Spradlin is now up and throwing in the Phillies bullpen. As we mentioned, the high pitch count. There you see Jerry. High pitch count for Garrett Stevenson. So it would be time to get that bullpen going anyway. And now with the Phillies in the lead, Spradlin up and getting his little dab loose. Well, I guess it's not a little dab. He's got a big
long.
Big long dab.
Full count pitch to Jeffries. To Alomar for out number 2. A reminder, tomorrow Phillies and Cubs will be on Prism with a 7 o'clock start. WB17 on July 4th. Back on Prism. Fireworks night on Saturday. And then Sunday on WB17. Garrett Stevenson trying to break that personal 4-game losing streak. Has hung in there quite well, thank you. Yielding 4 hits, stranding 8 Orioles through 5 innings, and now has a lead. One and 0 to Ruben Amaro. Ruben has hit a fly ball to right field and 1 to short left in the season's first start in right field for Ruben. To center field. Anderson's on his horse. That's carrying well. And that is gone. Ruben Amaro with his 2nd home run of the year. And the Phillies take a 4-2 lead.
Talk about Kamenecki's pitch count, and all of a sudden, see right here in the 6th inning, a couple balls up. This one about thigh high to Amaro as he's able to get underneath it and elevate it to straightaway center field. Brady Anderson back, a good attempt as he climbs the wall in center field, just not able to make the catches. Amaro puts the Phillies up by a score of 4-2 now with his 2nd of the year. You mentioned they may be keeping track of Kamenecki because of the number of pitches that he's thrown and the elbow problems he's had in the past. All of a sudden this inning, some of those balls we mentioned earlier, he had to keep the ball down, starting to get it up. Phillies taking advantage.
And it's 2-0 on Lieberthal. Well, Ruben got all of that, paying dividends, getting that rare start in right field. Check swing, fair ball. And Mike Lieberthal's going to have another extra base hit. A stand-up double, excuse me if you will, for Mike Lieberthal, who now has 25 extra base hits out of his 45 hits. Unbelievable. And it brings out Davey Johnson.
See Davey Johnson on his way to the mound. We'll take another look at Mike Lieberthal. Sometimes you get doubles by hitting the ball extremely hard. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky. Levy right here with the check swing. Tries to hold it up. Oh, perfectly placed right over Palmeiro's head and down in the right field corner.
And that will do it for Kamenecki. As yield 4 runs, responsible for Lieberthal. But his day's work ends with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Back in a moment.
How's it going? Hi there. Hey, it's my first camera day. How you doing? Hello. You're a shy one, aren't you? How are you? Can I have that back? No? Please? Thank you. Hi there. There you go. Sure. I hope you have good ear. Thank you. Thank you. I'd just like to get a hit tonight.
This is the 97 Dodge Avenger. It offers huge 17-inch tires for stability, a rigid body structure for quiet, and a sophisticated system of valves and bushings for optimum tuning of ride and handling. We thought we'd start there, because if we started with Avenger's new design, we'd never get your attention back to bushings and valves. Now get 3.9% financing for 60 months or cash back.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways. U.S. Airways offers daily nonstop service between Philadelphia and Frankfurt, Germany.
So 6th inning home runs by Scott Rowland and Ruben Amaro, followed by that check swing double from Lieberthal, have ended the day for Scott Kamenicki. He threw 102 pitches, and his day's work is over. Interestingly, Teak, Johnson goes to Rhodes with the switch hitting Stocker coming up. So he'll turn Stocker around, who's 60 points better as a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, you think when he's looking at this, he's looking beyond Stocker to Butler, Morandini, and Dalton, 3 left-handers that will follow Kevin. So Kevin Stocker gets to turn around and swing from the right side, but he will have the left-left matchup that he's looking for. See Rhodes in the ball game for the 24th time, 4 wins, 2 losses, 244 earned run average. Rhodes is a hard thrower, throws mid-90s really, and you know, he can go back and forth between starting and relieving, but as a reliever really becomes a 2-pitch pitcher. He's got a mid-90s fastball and a curveball that he'll throw. When he's a starter, he'll use changeups and sliders along with that, but as a reliever, you're going to see mostly hard fastballs and then the big curveball from Rhodes.
Was a starter throughout his minor league career. In 95, split, and then in 96 almost exclusively in relief. Had a couple of starts, and as noted, Stocker will turn around about right-handed with Lieberthal at second and 2 outs. Rhodes set a bit of a record a year ago when he won his first 9 decisions. Strike called. Ended up the year at 9-1. Only one Oriole has ever had a better start. Dave McNally was once 15-0 back in '69. That was 8-0 out of the bullpen.
And as advertised, Rhodes has come out throwing hard, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball followed by a 95 on the inside to Stocker.
2-1. A product of the Orioles organization. Tapper to Ripken. Plays the short hop. Out number 3. So Rhodes gets the job done. But Scott Rowland, with his first 2-home-run day of 1997, puts the Phillies up 1. Then Amaro puts them up 2. Take a ride on that one.
Baby Blueprints from Independence Blue Cross is a maternity program designed to assist mothers and identify risk factors early in pregnancy.
I had a difficult last pregnancy, and Kate at Baby Blueprints, she was great. She arranged everything, and she was very comforting to talk to on the phone.
Managing high-risk pregnancies is a very challenging job, but it's really worth it in the end.
Baby Blueprints from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Another reason you can lean on us.
What? Dissolution of marriage? She gets half. I'll give her half. Maybe we can work this out.
Hey, the road ahead awaits you. You never know just where it takes you.
Roll into Sears today, where all tires are on sale. All sizes, all brands.
Roll me east, roll me west, rolling free, that's the best.
Sears Auto Center, we keep you rolling.
Free to roll.
All tires on sale. Top brands like Michelin, Bridgestone, and Goodyear. Roll in by Saturday.
A special baseball cap featuring the Phillies, P with a star in it. Special cap worn by the Phillies from July 3rd through the 6th as part of their official uniform. Compliments of Model Sporting Goods and great for fans 14 and under. Make sure you come on out and celebrate. Order tickets easily by phone. Don't forget to inquire about the daily special. Stop by the Veterans Stadium ticket office. Bills and Cubs on Baseball Cap Day, Sunday, July 6th. And a new pitcher for the Phils here as we're headed for the bottom of the 6th. Phils on top for the first time by a count of 4-2. And it's Jerry Spradlin in a hold mode, Kent Jacoby.
Garrett Stevenson removed from this ball game. We mentioned his pitch count and the fact that Francona was going to be keeping an eye on him. Well, with the fact that the Phillies score a couple runs in the top of the 6th inning, perfect opportunity to get Stevenson out of the ball game and bring Spradlin in. Stevenson in 5 innings gave up just 4 hits, struck out 5, did walk 6 Oriole batters, gave up a couple runs. You see Jerry Spradlin's numbers right here. Stevenson threw 114 pitches in this ball game, so it was just about time for Terry to make the move and get him out of here and put the Phillies up by 2. Give Jerry Spradlin a chance to see what he can do this afternoon.
First batter he faced will be Tim Laker, who's glad to see Stevenson go. Struck out twice. And see how the Phillies function with a lead. Spradlin in his 39th ball game has pitched 39 innings. So he's generally been a 1-inning pitcher. 2-0. Spradlin just turned 30 last week out of Fullerton, California. Strike call. Jerry's been equally difficult on right-handed hitters and lefties. Righties hitting .220, lefties hitting .237. Might be overthrowing just a little bit.
Yeah, trying to throw a little harder than hard. New York Yankees got introduced to National League Baseball today. Greg Maddux beats the Yankees 2-0 in 2 hours and 8 minutes. Those people at Yankee Stadium won't know what to do with themselves when the game's over that quick.
Spradlin has walked the leadoff man. So Garrett Stevenson's numbers add up this way. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 6 walks, but he was able to pitch his way through them and stranded 8 Oriole runners. So Teague made the key pitches when he had to. Sometimes starting pitching comes down to 3 or 4 really key pitches in an outing.
Yeah, he was able to get outs when he needed them. He was in way too much trouble over the course of the afternoon to be one of those comfortable outings, but was able to find his way out of trouble, especially in the first inning when he was able to strike out Hammonds with the bases loaded in one of those situations where a game can get out of control before it ever gets started.
Strike call. Spradlin has not been wild. And that was just walk number 13 in 39 innings. Has 34 strikeouts, but not an opportune moment to walk a leadoff hitter who's yet to get a base hit in the major leagues this year. That strikes low.
Again, the Phillies in one of those situations, and Jerry Spradlin right in the middle of it, where your club has come back dramatically with 2 home runs in the top of the 6th inning to take the lead in this ball game. Just for good feelings, if nothing else, you want to take, and shut the opposition down, keep the feeling that, hey, we've got a little bit of control in this ball game. Of course, walking the leadoff hitter doesn't do a whole lot for that, and then falling behind now, 2 balls and 1 strike to Rebele.
Who's a 195 hitter, and Lieberthal will make a quick visit. That last pitch, Larry Young called the ball. I think Spradlin wanted it. But prior to that, none of the balls really borderline.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, if you're throwing strikes, you get strikes. If you're throwing balls, you get balls on the borderline pitches.
2-1 pitch. Morandini will take the out at second. Gutsy play by Mickey to cut down the lead runner. Out number 1.
This play by Morandini, a function of knowing who the base runner is at first base. Tim Laker, a catcher, not very quick, so Mickey knows that he's got a little bit of extra time to go ahead and keep the runner out of scoring position, even though he's deep in the hole on the first base side. Knows that he gives Stocker a good throw. He's going to get Laker at second. It all goes to mental preparation ahead of time. If you got a speedy runner over there at first base, you wouldn't try to make that play. You'd go ahead and take the out at first, but Mickey knew he had a catcher running and had some time.
Brady Anderson 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. Spradlin throwing hard. Fastball at 93. Anderson has the 2nd best batting average in the American League with runners on base at 384. Good pitch.
Interesting, Larry, as you look at the Orioles lineup, they have 5 hitters in their lineup in double digits in home runs. Brady Anderson, not one of them, coming off a 50 home run season a year ago. This was 7 home runs to this point in the year. So the guy that led the American League a year ago is at least 6th on his team, probably a little further than that down the list. Beat the whole league last year, can't even get toward the top of the list on his own team this year.
He had more home runs at this point of the season, as you see his numbers with runners on. Up, and they're getting on him. And I believe there's been an ejection. What did he say? Wait a minute, what did he say? Larry Young has tossed. That's Brad Mills, Phillies first base coach, for complaining about balls and strikes. I want to know why. I said knock it off.
You're pretty good at this.
Yeah, it's a specialty. You spend the number of hours in front of monitors as I have over the last number of years. And Terry's real easy to read. He's got a very expressive mouth. We don't know Larry Young.
Well, there were pitches earlier in the inning that Spradlin obviously was questioning whether he was getting the right calls on him or not from home plate umpire Larry Young. Obviously a little barking going on. We have seen this year, and umpires said it early in the year, that they were not going to tolerate any kind of talk whatsoever. So Brad Mills is given the keep here in the bottom of the 6th inning for disagreeing with Larry Young over his strike zone and the calling of balls and strikes. The Phillies now, when they come to bat in the top of the 7th, will need to find a new first base coach. Not quite as bad as when you have to find a new player, but nonetheless, we'll see who goes out and coaches first for the Phils. Brad Mills has been relieved of his duties for the afternoon.
It's 2-1. Fouled back. On the Prism telecast, I'm down on the field for the end of the ball games last several innings, and the Phillies are not the type of team that gets all over umpires. Here's the pitch that might have been a bit low that Mills wanted, and then the turn, and see ya. Kind of a weak toss.
Well, it was probably the second part of a conversation probably had been going on earlier in the inning, and Young had told the Phillies bench that he had enough, and Mills decided he wanted to make another comment. Larry Young stood his ground. That's been frustrating not only for the Phillies players but their coaches with the stretch that they have gone through and struggled so mightily, and the frustration builds up, and then, as things get worse and worse, you seem to have a tendency to complain about every little thing. And
runner goes. Out number 2 as Anderson lines the shot. Well, that's the way to get through it, though. Throw a strike, get the out.
Well, the other thing is, Larry, we talked about it when we were in Boston, that the American League strike zone is known to be a lot smaller than the National League zone. American League umpires call a tighter zone, especially in and out. Now, that pitch there was a breaking ball down in the zone that Spradlin thought was a strike, and obviously Mills did too. But it's just a smaller strike zone in the American League, and the umpires are used to calling that small zone. They're going to continue to do that, whether you're a National League pitcher or an American League pitcher. They're going to call their strike zone.
Well, the 2-1 pitch to Laker looked like a strike, was called a ball, and that's where Lieberthal went out to try to settle Spradlin down, who was getting a little bit upset. And it worked. He did settle him down, but a little bit of the noise continued on the Phillies dugout, and the ejection of Brad Mills, the first of Mr. Mills's career. And that is a couple of the candidates for first base coach. It won't be Galen Cisco.
And it won't be Vukovic, because he's over at third. So we got Chuck Cottier and Hal McRae to pick from.
To right field and deep. Amaro looking up, and it is gone. We're tied on a home run by Robbie Alomar. Alomar's 8th of the year. It's 4-4. Tiki noticed he's 7th or 8th on his own team.
Yeah, Alomar got good extension on that pitch right there and knew that this ball was out of the ballpark when he left his bat. So for the second time in this ball game, after the Phillies have scored a pair in the top of the 6th, now the Orioles come right back again. We've seen so much of this recently, Larry, from the Phillies, and the fact that when they do score to either tie the game or get a lead, all of a sudden it's right away it goes right back to even or down a run as the other team comes back and scores.
It will be a no decision for young Garrett Stevenson in his return to Baltimore. Baroa takes that full swing as Garrett shakes his head.
Baroa almost lost the bat on that last swing as he came all the way around. Trying to tighten those gloves back up. It's really dangerous if a hitter loses a bat in that part of the swing at the end.
Outside.
That home run by Robbie Alomar was his first since the 8th of June. So Alomar has been in a home run drought of his own. Of course, he's had some shoulder problems. In fact, has been batting left-handed against left-handed pitching. Alomar normally a switch hitter, but not able to swing well from the right side. Of course, against Spradlin, he was already over on the left side anyway, so it was a side he could swing the bat from. In fact, he's been there all day.
That is the 94th home run by the Orioles, not anywhere near the record pace of a year ago, but a solid number approaching the All-Star break. 2-2 to Baroa. Lays off. And the count is full. Stocker will charge. Quick release, out number 3. Robbie Alomar, who's had a perfect day, goes perfectly deep, and our game is tied through 6.
You know you can watch Prism and Sports Channel on TV, but how about cyberspace? Prism Sports Channel Interactive on America Online keeps you up to date on the latest movies, music, and sports. Exclusive Phillies coverage, updates on special events and features, music, news, views, and sounds to be downloaded, online chats with area celebrities, interactive features like You Be the Reporter, and great contests. Prism Sports Channel Interactive. Keyword Prism SC on America Online's Digital City, Philadelphia.
Hey, the road ahead awaits you. You never know just where it takes you.
Roll into Sears today, where all tires are on sale. All sizes, all brands.
Roll me east, roll me west, rolling free, that's the best.
Sears Auto Center, we keep you rolling.
Free to roll.
All tires on sale. Top brands like Michelin, Bridgestone, and Goodyear. Roll in by Saturday.
If its standard 132 horsepower engine isn't reason enough to buy a Dodge Neon, consider the price your backup. Now, during the National Dodge Sale, Dodge Neon is available with 3.9% 60-month financing, or take $1,000 cash back. Whatever pushes your buttons. Neon, the new Dodge.
One of the biggest, most colorful, most fun events of the whole year. Fireworks spectaculars at the Vet, compliments of Mellon PSFS. One on Thursday, July 3rd, and the second Saturday, July 5th, after the 7:05 Cubs game. Call 463-1000.
We'll be back on Sports Channel for Phillies baseball against the Montreal Expos July 17th at 7:30 at Veterans Stadium. And the answer to who's the Phillies' backup first base coach? Al McRae. With Brad Mill ejected, complaining balls and strikes. And if we widen out a little bit, you see Hal place it to the far end, the back corner of that coach's box. Safety first, Teague.
And McRae's been in the dugout all year long with his hitters, and now pressed into action as the first base coach with the ejection of Brad Mills from the ballgame.
Rob Butler facing Arthur Rhodes. Butler 1 for 3. Has hit 3 ground balls to the right side. 1 went through. So Phil's in the 7th inning, back tied. Strike call.
Your attention, please. For the Phillies, now coaching first base.
Rhodes with about a 10-mile differential in his pitches. His fastball in the mid-90s range, a breaking ball at about 84 mile an hour. So, his change of speeds basically comes from the fact that, when he changes pitches. But there's still his main weapon is that hard mid-90s fastball that he throws.
2-1. Phils will go left, left, left. Butler, Morandini, and Dalton in the 7th. It's 3-1. Rhodes works off the third base side of the rubber. Goes outside corner, strike 2. It's a nice free and easy motion for a 95 mile an hour.
Yeah, a lot of guys that throw hard kind of jerk themselves around, but Rhodes pretty smooth with his delivery. Not a whole lot of stress on the arm as he gets the ball there in a hurry.
Late swing. Butler stays alive. Strike 3 called.
Three balls, 2 strikes. You shouldn't be able to make a pitch this good as that 95 mile an hour fastball knee high on the outside corner. Take a look right here as that ball is right on the outside corner. With the 3-2, you really don't have the right to be able to throw the ball that knee high and right there, especially to a leadoff hitter in a ball game that's tied. But Rhodes able to make that pitch and get Butler looking.
And he does align his body in a straight line with the outside corner. And Laker's been sitting out there on every pitch. Check swing by Morandini into the Phillies dugout. Here's the 1-1 to Mickey. Off-speed pitch. It's also away. He's obviously got the speed to come on in.
He's got the speed to throw inside, but hasn't shown any inclination to these left-handed hitters to work on the inside part of the plate. As Rhodes has been strictly on the outside part.
And again.
See, that one is 96, knee high on the corner. You throw like that all the time, you're going to be real successful. Now he's going to come in.
Morandini the other way, slicing to the seats.
A lot of times, Larry, pitchers who have a tendency, especially like we've seen right here with Rhodes, to use the outside part of the plate so much, when they do come in, try to come inside, don't get it all the way in. That pitch to Morandini down the middle of the plate, even though he wanted to run the inside part. So what do? You go back to your comfort zone. You go to the outside corner.
It's a full count. Both bullpens are presently quiet. And of course, with the DH rule in effect, the decisions are based solely on pitching ability, or pitching choice, if you will. Foul ball. Just a tad late on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Morandini, his bid for an extra base hit, just foul. Alomar playing Morandini like a right-handed pull hitter, shaded up the middle and on the dirt, and on the turf rather. Again, defeated foul. That's a good at-bat by Mickey Morandini against a hard-throwing left-hander. Fun for kids. It's Kids Appreciation Day, when all fans 14 and under receive a great colorful action poster featuring the hot corner players Rico Bruni and Scott Rowland, compliments of Boston Market. Sunday, July 20th against the Pirates. Order your tickets easily by phone, 463-1000. Stop by any of the local Ticketmaster outlets. 1 on, 1 out. Darren Dalton stands in. Strike called. Palmeiro at first base. Teague lines himself up in a very interesting way. He comes off the bag, but with that glove hand in position, that's holding the runner but not holding the runner.
Yeah, we've seen this a couple times, and you do it with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Palmeiro will actually cheat out toward that hole, trying to cover up a little bit more of the right side. With a right-handed pitcher, he stays back on the bag. That time, as Rhodes delivered to the plate, Palmeiro was breaking back to the bag. Normally, if the first baseman is out there, there will be a set play with the pitcher, letting him know whether you're going to break back to the bag or not. Almost a decision whether to throw the first, rest with the first baseman as opposed to the pitcher in those situations. See Palmeiro a couple steps off the bag, and he will move toward the hole when Rhodes delivers the ball to the plate.
Again away. It's 2-1. Dalton has hit 3 fly balls. He's 0 for 3. Morandini with above average speed and a good sized lead at first. There's the timing play and the soft toss. Huge hole on the right side as Alomar tries to cheat for the double play. Oops.
That's the one thing that I do not like about that play is Palmeiro is moving as the ball gets to first base. So if it's a good throw, obviously no problem for him. But if it throws off line, more difficult for him to adjust to make the catch.
Morandini started and stopped. That's called a strike. As Darren Dalton looks back and has a word, a pleasant one for Larry Young. Not an approval. 2-2.
As the evening grows long here at Baltimore, the sun's starting to set behind the stadium. Palmeiro at first base also dealing with a setting sun in his eyes as he goes back to the bag and takes the throws from Rhodes. So not only is he moving, but he's dealing with that sun that's setting just over the rim of the stadium here at Camden Yards.
And the lights are on. Have been since about the 4th inning. Swung on and hit the short left. Surhoff out number 2. So here's Scott Rowland, who in his last at-bat, his first 2 home run game of 1997.
And it was a rocket into the Orioles bullpen as left fielder B.J. Surhoff just kind of went over and gave it a quick look, but there was no doubt about that one, as was the case with the first one. Rowland's home runs, they were gone from the time they left the bat.
And he'll face the lefty. Boy, a good hack at that. Fouled it back. Home runs 9 and 10 to go into a 3-way tie for the team lead with Dalton and Lieberthal.
We mentioned, Larry, that Camden Yards is a hitter-friendly ballpark and a home run-friendly ballpark. Through the first 6+ innings of this game today, we've had 5 home runs in the game. Rowland with a pair, Amaro with 1, Palmeiro and Alomar for the Orioles.
One and one.
Only Alomar's home run has been of the multi-run variety. He had a 2-runner. Everybody else was solo shots. As we mentioned, Rowland's home runs both came as leadoff hitters. As a leadoff hitter, I should say.
To right field, Hammond's coming hard. Has it for the 3rd out of the inning. So a good inning for Rhodes. Stretch time, tied at 4.
Here's the 2-2. He struck him out. Hits it hard to right field. It is gone.
He's got him. Yes, he does. Ground ball, fair ball, right field side. He wants it away. The 1-2, swing and a miss.
Ground ball, great play. Stocker, can he get him? He got him.
He goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Phil's win.
Hit to deep right field. It's gone.
So, you want to see my Discover Card statement? I am very, very prissy.
What up or shut up?
I love to be pampered. I go have my hair done. I love to go have my nails done, have pedicures, manicures. My biggest weakness would have to be shoes. Cashback bonus award really floats my boat.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I am definitely a shopaholic.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
It's kind of like Louis Armstrong. It's kind of like Neil Armstrong. The Infinity i30. Own one, and you'll understand.
What vitamin could potentially reduce your risk for suffering a heart attack? Recent studies have shown that vitamin E can reduce the number of heart attacks by 50% for both men and women. Check with your doctor before starting any vitamin program.
4-4 ball game As we go to the bottom of the 7th. Where is he? Buried in there. The only guy sitting during the 7th inning stretch. There you see Jim Spearing, one of the fine cameramen from Philadelphia, who made the run down I-95, and a very close personal friend of our outgoing director, J.R. Grilla, who paid off the bet by getting Spearing on the telecast.
J.R. always working to position himself perfectly.
See if we can get 18 holes out of that deal. Palmeiro homered in the 3rd, facing Jerry Spradlin. You see Lieberthal trying to slow his pitcher down just a little bit.
Jerry a little frustrated right now. He got frustrated last inning with some really ball and strike calls of Larry Young, and then the 2-run homer by Robbie Alomar that tied this ball game up. Sometimes when things aren't going your way, you have a tendency to try to start overthrowing the baseball and get yourself out of sync. So it's going to be important for Spradlin to keep his emotions under control at this point. 4-4 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mistakes right now, the later you get in the game, the more those mistakes become magnified.
That will slice foul as well, so 2-2. Straight back, just below us. Spradlin continues to challenge that fastball is quickest at 95 miles an hour. Ball game coming up on 3 hours here in the bottom of the 7th. Good pitch. That's a sinking fastball, Teague.
Yeah, Spradlin took a little bit off of this pitch as he got it in a perfect spot down and away from Palmeiro. Take a look at that tailing fastball. It goes down and away. Could have been a split finger by Spradlin the way that ball moved down and away from Palmeiro. And you know, the fastballs before that made Palmeiro consider, you know, speeding up his bat, and then a good pitch, perfect location, a little bit off speed and in a perfect spot down and away.
Cal Ripken has 2 base hits.
Ripken, a notorious high inside half fastball hitter. Likes to get that big long. He's got kind of a long swing. Controls it pretty well, but is susceptible to that breaking ball down and away from him. That pitch
Good
right
pitch.
there.
He is a 2-time MVP. His first time a year after being Rookie of the Year, and just voted to his 15th All-Star selection. First time as a third baseman.
Look, what have you done for me recently?
Really?
Just play every day, hit 300, drive in runs, score runs. Just another day at the office for Cal Ripken.
Whereas Cal broke his nose at Veterans Stadium in the All-Star game a year ago during the team photo. Roberto Hernandez lost his balance and smoked Cal in the face. Stocker dives. It's a 3-hit game for Ripken.
Talked about Ripken's likes and dislikes. Take a look at this fastball up and in the middle of the plate as Ripken lines it back through the middle. Couple line drive singles to right field. Now one back past Stocker up the middle. You just can't make mistakes with Cal Ripken. He makes you pay the price. If you make the pitches, you can get him out, but you better make the pitches.
Wild pitch will go to the backstop. And the hurry-up call goes to the Phillies bullpen. Lieberthal will take the long walk to Spradlin, who meets him halfway.
Yeah, this is one of those frustration pitches we talked about. As Spradlin just overthrows the baseball, misses well down and inside to Surhoff, and gets the ball by Lieberthal all the way to the backstop. When you're throwing in the mid-90s and you miss by that much, very difficult for your catcher to make an adjustment. Billy Brewer back up again for the Phillies. He was throwing earlier in the ball game, so if indeed Francona wants to make a move quickly, it shouldn't take Brewer long to get ready.
So Ripken is in scoring position, and they'll walk Surhoff. Surhoff's a .417 hitter with runners in scoring position in less than 2 outs, but he won't get a chance to beat the Phillies here. They'll go for Hammonds. Hammonds' numbers not nearly as impressive in these kind of situations.
So not only that, but you get rid of the left-handed hitting Surhoff, get a right-handed hitting Hammonds to the plate, and set up a potential double play to possibly get yourself out of the inning. Galen Cisco going to make a trip to the mound. And now again we saw Spradlin overthrow that pitch that allowed Ripken to go to second base, which set up the intentional walk of Surhoff. So emotions are so important in this game and how you're able to control them. Galen Cisco now trying to get Spradlin back under emotional control more than anything else. Spradlin throwing hard enough, throwing well enough to sometimes trying to throw the ball too hard.
Galen, of course, does not make the changes, and you're going righty to righty. He's got Tim Laker, who hasn't had a hit in the big leagues yet this year, behind Hammonds. And Galen has said his piece.
Barry Francona looking at his lineup card, trying to anticipate the possible moves of Davey Johnson. Of course, you mentioned Laker hasn't played all that much. Lenny Webster has done quite a bit of the catching for the Orioles. Tony Tarasco, the one left-handed bat that Davey Johnson has on his bench, so trying to anticipate whether Johnson would use Tarasco or not if the situation arises.
Teague Spradlin's been wild outside to right-hand hitters. And maybe Galen saw something mechanical.
No, I think he's been wild outside the right-handers and wild inside the left-handers, which is classic overthrowing is what it is.
Okay. Swing and a miss.
You try to throw the ball 110 mile an hour instead of 95, so you speed up your arm, but you forget to let go of the ball any sooner, and it has a tendency to pull it to the outside part of the plate to the right-handers or inside to left-handers. So got to stay in that rhythm. Rhythm is what causes control.
In the dirt, 2-1.
As we look down, Tony Tarasco has moved out into the on-deck circle for the Orioles as Spradlin falls behind in the count to Jeffrey Hammonds. There you see Tarasco, the lone left-handed bat on Davey Johnson's bench.
Ground ball, Stocker backhand in front of him. Go to Rowland. Good heads-up play. As Stocker would have had a hard time going anyplace else for an out. Gets it on the fielder's choice, 6-5.
Good reaction by both Stocker and Rowland. Rowland realizing he wouldn't be able to get there, so he retreats to the third base bag. He's standing there waiting for Stocker to make that throw. Kevin going toward the hole. An easy play for him with that throw that's in front of him. Much more difficult play if he would have had to try to reverse himself and make a forced throw to second base. Of he would have had no throw to throw over at first base. So heads up play by both Stocker and Scott Rowland, who was in position and ready to receive that throw. And you mentioned Tony Tarasco now will hit for Tim Laker.
He's been announced, and a number of heads turning to see if Brewer's going to come and get the left-handed swinging Tarasco, but it looks like Spradlin will face him as Vukovic moving Jeffries more toward left center field, further off the line. Not that many pinch hitting opportunities for the Orioles all year. Tarasco 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. inside. In fact, the Orioles as a team have had 34 pinch hit appearances, identical to the number that Ruben Amaro has had. So Ruben has had as many as the entire Orioles club. Obviously, with the DH, just doesn't come up that often. Carrasco, of course, did a lot of pinch hitting in the National League, broke in with the Braves, a .240 lifetime pinch hitter.
And the decision right here for Terry Francona is, does he want Spradlin to pitch to Carrasco, or if he brings in Billy Brewer, the left-hander, he would probably see Pete Incaviglia. So decided that he would rather have the Carrasco-Spradlin matchup. Good pitch right there on the inside corner. Carrasco twice now has taken strikes on the inside part of the plate. Or excuse me, 2 pitches on the inside part of the plate. That one called a strike. The first pitch inside for a ball. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
Been an outstanding ball game. We're tied at 4. 2 on, 2 out, bottom 7. Two on to Tarasco. Off speed pitch, just missed. The Spradlin changeup is in the mid-80s. The big scoreboard urging the fans to make some noise, and they respond. Ball 4. So Francona can only work that gum. And work it he has done, as Robele will bat with the bases loaded, 2 out.
Let's see, Robele 0 for 2 in the ball game, struck out, walked, and hit into a fielder's choice. Another one of those situations like Stevenson faced in the first inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Strike called. Been just 1 hit in the inning. The single by Ripken erased on the fielder's choice. Surhoff walked. Hammond's on the fielder's choice. And the walk to Tarasco. Rebele 0-1. Down low. It's 1-1.
Francona and Cisco looking at the lineup card, trying to figure out how to deal beyond this point.
Foul tip for strike 2.
Take a look as Rebele tries to hold up his swing. Just barely tips the bat, says home plate umpire Larry Young.
Spradlin will try to bury him with the 1-2. Lieberthal sets up away. And Jerry, little bit of a jerk of the arm. Where was that? But simply thought better of it and turned away. Watch that right arm.
That fastball well up above the belt.
He'll go 2-2 slider. And it's ripped to center field. Diving Butler, it gets on by him. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. They're going to clear the bases. Safe there. Jeff Rebele, a bases clearing double to center field. And it's 7 for Baltimore.
If you play with fire often enough, eventually you're going to get burned. Rebele lines his ball into right center field. Rob Butler, an all-out attempt to make the catch. Came up short on that dive, and see 1, 2, 3 run score for the Baltimore Orioles. Rob Butler selling out, trying to make a diving catch in right center field, just not able to get there as the ball bounds over his head. Ruben Amaro has to come all the way over to retrieve the baseball. By the time he does, 3 runs across the plate. Jerry Spradlin is out of this ball game, and the Baltimore Orioles out in front by a score of 7-4 as Terry Francona makes a pitching change.
It'll be Billy Brewer to try to close the door and keep it to a 3-run ball game. Back to Baltimore in a moment.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON-24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
Yesterday's news, I mean, that's old. That's old to me.
Check this out. Here's what it's called.
The all-new ZX2.
I first thought on TV.
It wasn't a hard decision.
The ZX2, Z-Tech engine, quadrillink suspension, and available 6-disc CD. Oh, yeah.
It even has this. It's a keyless entry.
Just hugs the corners.
Neat. Panic?
It's affordable, it's reliable, it's yours with 1.9 financing for 48 months.
ZX2.
Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
A back-breaking base hit here in the bottom of the 7th, Teague.
And Jeff Rebele hitting in the number 9 hole for the Baltimore Orioles. That will loop this ball just in front of a diving Rob Butler. So Rebele coming out of that 9 hole with a clutch 2-out double. He scores 3 runs on the play and puts the Baltimore Orioles ahead by a score of 7-4. Look right here. This is Tony Tarasco coming around to score the 3rd run as he's able to slide in just ahead of the play by Mike Lieberthal. Tarasco scoring all the way from first base with the 3rd run on that 2-out double by Rebele.
And that will bring on Billy Brewer, the lone left-hander in the Phillies bullpen, making his 8th appearance. Started the year as a member of the Oakland Athletics. Made his Phillies debut back on the 25th of June. And has a runner in scoring position to inherit as he faces Anderson. Good shift by Lieberthal to keep that in front of him. Anderson has walked as well. Two and 0.
A very frustrated Jerry Spradlin, entrusted with a 2-run lead when he comes in the 6th, gives up 2 in the bottom of the 6th, 3 so far here in the bottom of the 7th, still responsible for Rebele at second.
2-1. Brewer was sent down by Oakland and opted for free agency. Signed with Scranton back in the end of May. Pitched well and got the call replacing Eric Plantenberg, and has been a very busy man. Two and 2.
Francona brings Brewer into the ballgame here to face the left-handed hitting Anderson, with the switch hitting Alomar on deck. But Alomar really reduced to being a left-handed hitter right now. Francona knows that he's going to be swinging from the left side, so he's able to get the left-left matchup not only against Anderson but also Alomar. Try to get out of this ugly 7th inning.
And the bullpen's quiet at the moment. Two-2 pitch. And kind of squeaked out of his hand a little bit on the breaking ball. And it's 3-2. ball four.
Second baseman,
That is the 10th walk issued by Phillies pitching. 6 by Stevenson, 3 by Spradlin. Alomar's got 2 of them to go with the single and the home run, has scored a pair of runs. Strike called 0-1. Lieberthal came out of his crouch, but Brogna's about 25 feet off the bag. It's 1-1. He had no one to throw to.
There was a high inside breaking ball too that had Alomar backing out of the box, so he was going to be in the way of any attempt Lieberthal was going to make to throw to first base.
They want to go away. It's down 2-1.
Well, this Phillies pitching staff right now, with probably the possible exceptions of Kurt Schilling and Ricky Bottalico, all in the same kind of mode. The two things that they can't do is walk hitters and give up home runs. And the Phillies have been doing way too much of that recently. The walks and the long balls have really killed them, and come back again this afternoon to get them.
Foul ball. Fine play by the ball girl on the backhand side. Yeah, I did it.
Routine. You always tell the good fielders when they make plays, they're just very calm and casual about the way they go about it. That young lady made a nice fine backhand play and just casually handed the ball to her fan and sat down. Now she waves to her adoring fans down the right field line.
So it's 2-2 on Alomar. 2 on, 2 out, 3 in the 7th. Another off-speed pitch, tap foul. Geronimo Berloa waits on deck. Count is full, so the runners will be moving. With 2 outs. To center field, in front of Butler, will take this one on the hop. And it's an 8-4 ball game. Alomar's perfect day continues, his 3rd hit. That run will be charged to Spradlin and complete his line.
Another 3-2 count. Brewer has to come in with the fastball. Not a bad spot down and away from Alomar, but much like we talked about Stalker before, Alomar able to shorten his swing up and drop the ball in front of Butler in center field. Gets the 8th run of the game across the plate for the Baltimore Orioles. Good hitters are good hitters for a reason. They know how to hit according to situations. They hit according to counts. Robbie Alomar doing a nice job there on a 3-2 pitch by Brewer of just dropping it in front of Butler in center field.
Charged Spradlin with 6 earned runs for his inning and 2/3 of work. And it's a 7th inning bat around. Corral with that one-arm swing for strike 1.
Beginning of the year, Brewer and Baroa were teammates in Oakland. now facing each other here at Camden Yards, some 3,000 miles apart.
Swing and a miss. He doesn't get cheated.
Well, Baroja, not too many inside-out swings in his repertoire. He pretty much turns that bat head loose. We talked about hitters not being familiar with pitchers. Well, Baroja has seen Brewer before when they were in the same uniform.
Alomar goes. No throw. See how they score that.
Could be defensive indifference, as Phillies didn't even bother to cover the bag at second base.
In the American League, they call it fielder's choice.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's indifference. You know, you can't be indifferent.
Well, they made a choice. They chose not to cover the bag.
1-2 pitch. It's 2-2. Been one of those kind of trips for Terry Francona, whose club has played in front of sold-out crowds each of the last 6 times out, yet to come away with a win. Off his foot, still 2-2.
When you have a big a swing as Baroja has, and you get a pitch on the inside part of the plate, you're going to foul a lot of balls straight down off of your feet.
It's off the back knee.
Yeah, usually when you foul them off your leg, you foul them off the front leg. Baroja there that time got it off the back leg, right around the kneecap area. It's the price you pay for swinging that big and that hard all the time.
Anderson at third, Alomar at second, 2 out, 2-2 pitch coming. 3-2. Rafael Palmeiro, who struck out to start the inning against Jerry Spradlin, waits on deck.
All right, throughout the course of this ball game, how many times have we seen Oriole hitters at the plate with a 3-2 count? The number of pitches thrown by the Philly pitchers today is astronomical.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and the 7th inning has ended. But the Orioles put a 4 spot on the board to take an 8-4 lead through 7.
Why does Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile have the most advanced digital network on the East Coast? So your cell phone will work here and out here. It's perfectly clear here. In fact, to ensure that you'll have enhanced voice clarity and privacy, we built a digital network of monumental proportions. After all, a cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile.
Magnum engine here and spacious interior there, Dodge Ram van is all work. Add a seat here, a TV VCR there, wood trim, custom audio, and what was once all work becomes all play. The Dodge Ram conversion van. Add cash back here, plus packet values there, and you can get up to $3,200 off, making the Dodge Ram conversion van a superior choice, here and there. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. By your local Dodge dealers. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. By Pico Energy, focusing our energies on you. By Nissan, who reminds you that life's a journey. Enjoy the ride. And by Brewery Fresh at Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. inning baseball with Kent DeCovey. I'm Larry Rose, and thanks for being with us on Sports Channel for Phillies baseball. Phil's now down 4 following the Orioles bat around. Laker was pinched hit for in the last inning, so Lenny Webster, a one-time Philly, will come on to catch here in the top of the 8th, working with Arthur Rhodes. Rhodes came in with 2 outs in the 6th, but he is the kind of relief pitcher that specializes in the Kent DeCovey-like long outings. Had a 4-inning save last Tuesday, a 3-inning save against the Braves back in mid-June, so this is not uncharted waters for the hard-throwing left-hander facing Rico Brogna.
And how things have changed for Arthur Rhodes in the last 15 minutes or so. When he left the mound in the top of the 7th inning, he was in a tie ball game. Tim Laker was his catcher. Now he's got a 4-run lead. Lenny Webster's behind the plate. So things do change in a hurry sometimes.
He did not. So it's 1-1. Brogna 0 for 3 on the day. Two and 1. Brogna, Jeffries, and Amaro to try to get something going in the 8th. Phils have out hit the Orioles 9-8. Swing and a miss. That fastball at 95. And Rico was just under it. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. Monday, July 21st, it'll be the Phils and the Pirates in business person special number 3. Come on, take the afternoon off. Go to Veterans Stadium. Fun in the sun. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Order your tickets at 463-1000. Inquire about the daily specials or stop by the Center City ticket office of Mellon PSFS at Broad and Chestnut. Greg Jeffries has 2 hits on the day. Batting right-handed for the first time today. Jeffries a .277 hitter right-handed.
Larry, you mentioned Rhodes is used to pitching these extended periods of time. Came into this ball game throwing at 95 mile an hour. Fastball still right there. Has not lost one bit of the velocity on that fastball.
Ripped to left, but right at Surhoff for round number 2. It's not a bad group of starting pitchers that the Baltimore Orioles have put together. Mussina, Erickson, Key, and Sean Bosky. Bosky in the middle.
Number 32 in your picture. Only member missing from that picture is Scott Kamenecki, who started today's ball game. So other 4 Oriole starters relaxing in the Oriole dugout, enjoying this 8-4 lead that the Orioles have at this point in the ball game.
Amaro swung. Strike 1. Ruben Holmert in his last at bat to give the Phillies what looked like an insurance run. Gave them a 4-2 lead, top 6, but the Orioles tied at bottom of the 6th and then 4 in the 7th.
For the first time today, swinging around, hitting from the right side against the left-hander Rhodes. So that's to this point all came against Kamenecki.
Right side. Alomar dives, but can't get out of his glove. That would have been a spectacular play. Instead, it's a base hit for Amaro.
Well, again, we see Alomar's great range. We saw him go up the middle a couple times. This time deep into right field, just not able to get his feet underneath him. I don't even think, had he been able to get his feet underneath him and make a strong throw to first base, he was not going to get Amaro. But Saw that leg slide out from under him. Amaro well across the bag. But just once again, you see the great range of Robbie Alomar, how much ground he can cover in both directions.
Mike Lieberthal's got a pair of doubles on the day. One a booming double to right center, the other a check swing double down the right field line. Ricky Bottalico has yet to throw a pitch. Kind of a tad reluctant out there. Down 4. Lieberthal to deep left field. It's got the distance. It's gone. Mike Lieberthal, home run number 11. And it's a 2-run ball game. Phillies cut the lead to 8-6. On their 4th home run of the day. Mike retakes the club lead with 11 and gets Davey Johnson on the phone to his bullpen, which should be Randall K. Myers.
Take a look right here as Lieberthal levels off on this fastball by Rhodes and lines it into left field. J. Surhoff back and looking, but he had to be about 15 rows deep to make a play on that one as Mike Lieberthal, his 11th home run of the season. A 2-run shot gets the Phillies back to within 2, and here we go again.
Kevin Stocker batting. 8-6. Lieberthal with 2 doubles and a home run of the day. Rolen with a pair of home runs. Ruben Amaro with 2 hits, including a home run. Strike call. In the Orioles bullpen, Terry Matthews has gotten up in case he's needed to close the 8th inning. That's high.
And Larry, it's interesting when you look at the Orioles rosters, you see Matthews down in the bullpen throwing. So the Toronto Blue Jays, Cito Gaston, because of the designated hitter, only 5 relievers in his bullpen. Most National League teams carry 6 because of the fact that you have to pinch hit and use a few more pitchers. Davey Johnson carries 7 in his bullpen. Now, you would think that you wouldn't need that many, but Johnson apparently, as we saw earlier, doesn't pinch hit very often, so therefore he just decides to carry the extra pitcher in the bullpen. Mike Lieberthal going on the Scott Rowland priming. If you hit a home run, go get a drink and sit down. Works for Scotty, it works for me.
2-2 to Stocker. Up the middle, Alomar backhand. Gets rid of it perfectly for out number 3. Another fine play, hard to his right for Alomar. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Alomar keeps the tying run from coming to home plate with another really.
Can you name the seafood capital of the Northeast? Benny the Bum's Crab House and Bar is the seafood capital of the Northeast. We have fresh crabs voted best of Philly, flown in daily from Texas, and fresh live lobsters from 1 to 15 pounds. Plus a full line of fresh seafood, chicken, steak, and pasta specialties. Benny's also offers exotic gourmet seafood specials prepared by 5-star chefs. And Benny's has a large bar that's always busy. Come visit the seafood capital of the Northeast, Benny the Bum's Crab House and Bar on Bustleton Avenue and Red Lion Road, the seafood capital.
Introducing the revolutionary skin care formula, So Relief, designed to relieve the itching, flaking, and irritation of psoriasis. And now this FDA-approved formula is available for the first time without a prescription. So Relief's exclusive patented formula quickly penetrates your skin, leaving it smooth and free from irritation. Order So Relief today, available at the introductory price of only $19.95, and we'll include So Relief Intensive Moisturizing Cream free, all for just $19.95. To order, call 1-800-257-5700.
Quick look at our Toyota interleague scoreboard. 3 other afternoon ball games. Cincinnati has defeated Milwaukee. Detroit has outscored the Mets. Atlanta shuts out the Yankees 2-0. Chicago has defeated Kansas City 3-2. And in the 8th inning, Oakland leads San Francisco 8-1. Florida, Boston a bit later. The All-Canada matchup at Toronto. Chicago is at Pittsburgh. Minnesota, St. Louis, Cleveland, Houston. Colorado, Texas, Seattle, San Diego out on the coast. Along with LA, Anaheim in a grudge match on the left coast. Meanwhile, our ball game still competitive at 8-6. Phils refused to go gently into that good night. Down by 2 with Randy Myers up to pitch the 9th inning for the Orioles. Ricky Bottalico will come in to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning and try to keep this a 2-run ball game.
Well, the Phillies not even having to play until tomorrow night. Bottalico hasn't worked since last Saturday, so Francona brings him into a game even though the Phillies down by a couple runs. See if he can hold the Orioles at bay and give the Phillies a shot against Myers in the 9th. Bottalico on for the 33rd time this year. And I think, Larry, everybody would agree that we've seen way too many times this year this type of a situation where Bottalico has been brought into the ball games behind in the ball game because he just hasn't worked in a while.
Fouled back. This is his 33rd appearance, and only 17 of them have been save opportunities. Has 14 saves to rank among the league leaders. Yes. But by midway through, you'd think he'd have a number more than 17.
Yeah, he hasn't had many save opportunities at all recently. In fact, his last opportunity to save a ball game was back on the 16th of June at Fenway Park in Boston. So save opportunities for Ricky Bo have been few and far between.
Good pitch. Out number 1, Palmeiro caught looking. That'll bring up Cal Ripken, who made baseball history September 6, 1995, as he took the field for game number 2-1-3-1 before the home folks. And Cal did not just walk through that night. He smoked a home run to left field as a signature statement for baseball's all-time Iron Man.
Then in the 5th inning, when the ball game became official, the numbers on the warehouse changed, and Cal Ripken had become the all-time Iron Man in Major League Baseball. Home run, by the way, the hit came off of now teammate Sean Bosky. Those starting pitchers that we talked about in the Orioles rotation. Speaking of pitchers, Larry, that home run that Mike Lieberthal hit off of Rhodes last inning, that was the first run that Rhodes had allowed since the 25th of May. Quite a long string for Arthur Rhodes was broken by that Mike Lieberthal home run. The 2-run shot into the left field bleachers.
Went 9 consecutive appearances without allowing a run. Pass Bottalico, but Stocker's there. Out number 2. No late-inning defensive replacement for Ripken either at third base.
How many Gold Gloves does he have? He can catch it.
Not at third.
No, not at third, but he's got a whole bunch of them at short. And that means you got good hands. The only thing that really has diminished in Ripken is his range a little bit. So the move from shortstop to third base, logical. You don't need to have quite as much range to play third base. You just need good hands and quick reactions. Ripken still has both of those. Of course, that good strong throwing arm that he had from shortstop will bode him well at third base.
He swung. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he didn't want to. That started out as an attempt to hit the baseball, and then the second part of the attempt was trying to protect himself as B.J. Surhoff spun out of the way of this inside fastball by Bottalico. Hey, that's the one that about halfway there you go, oh, ouch, because you know it's got you, and then all of a sudden it doesn't hit you, and I thought it was going to hit me. All prepared for the pain and you feel real good about the fact that you don't feel it.
He'll take the strike called. And Battalico is so upset with himself. He slopped up a slider that he didn't like. And as soon as the swing came from Surhoff, Ricky just did a series of leaps. And Ricky's very good at talking to himself. And did not like the location on this pitch.
Didn't like the location at all on this pitch, as this breaking ball is just right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes. So Battalico upset immediately. He wanted to throw that breaking ball down and away in the dirt. Surhoff and made a mistake with it.
Certainly had him set up. Hammonds fouls one to the third deck. Fine catch. First row, third deck. Hammonds 0 for 4, but has scored a run in the 4-run 7th. Long drive to left field. And Battalico is stomping mad on the mound. Hammonds got a high heater and drove it way out for home run number 11. And it's once again a 4-run Oriole lead. At Surhoff in an 0-2 hole, 3 pitches later, 2 runs on the board.
Yeah, right here, a fastball again from Battalico. Just gets completely away from him. Wants it down and away, gets it up and in. Hammond spins on it. Another no doubt home run here at Camden Yard. And Ricky Battalico was upset with himself before when he gave up the 2-strike no-ball base hit to Surhoff. Now really upset.
Here's Lenny Webster's first at-bat. He came in following Tarasco pinch hitting for Laker. And yep, it's 10-6. And with that, Myers has sat back down in this non-save situation. So back up is Terry Matthews. That's a good pitch by Battalico to close the door, but the home run by Jeffrey Hammonds means the Phillies are going to need 4 in the 9th.
With my old health plan, I needed a referral to see my gynecologist. Now look, I'm a big girl, but the whole ordeal was kind of uncomfortable. But that was then. We switched to Keystone, you know, back by the Blues. They don't make me get permission to see my gynecologist. They understand that I can handle it myself whenever I choose.
Direct Access, another innovation from Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield.
Keystone understands women.
From Toya Pets to Chia Pets, Toyota's commemorating 40 years of being part of America. And to celebrate, a great selection of Toyota certified used vehicles is now available from participating dealers. Each has undergone a 128-point inspection so thorough, it's covered by a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, extending from the original date of purchase, and a 24-hour roadside assistance program, all backed by Toyota. Toyota certified used vehicles. The best new cars make the best used cars.
Every day there are more and more demands on your time. So you should demand more from your bank. Like the ease of banking by phone. Banking from just about anywhere by PC. Or anytime by ATM. And the convenience of full-service banking 7 days a week at all of our supermarket locations. To find out more, stop by any of our offices or call us at 1-800-MELON24. Mellon, it's where you're going.
Sunday, August 3rd, the Cards are in town. A terrific T-shirt featuring several of the superstars of Major League Baseball in a colorful design, free for fans 14 and under, compliments of Pico Energy. It's a great gift item for kids, plus fun at the ballpark. Cardinals in town, 463-1000, or stop by the Veterans Stadium ticket office. Frustration for Ricky Battalico, as you might imagine.
A couple of mistakes made by Battalico in the inning as he Made a mistake 0-2, and then the bad fastball to Hammonds. Ricky upset, but at least a little bit composed in the fact that he turns around, and if he's going to smack the wall, don't smack it with your pitching hand. Uses the open hand to smack it with his glove hand. Metallico, extreme competitor, upset with himself, not so much by what the Orioles did, but by the mistakes that he made that now made this a 4-run deficit for the Phillies, trailing by a score of 10-6.
And you know who the new pitcher is? Terry Matthews, at 32 years of age. In this non-save situation, Matthews, who was acquired from the Florida Marlins for Greg Zahn, will come into game number 26.
We saw Davey Johnson switch up his bullpen as soon as the Orioles scored a couple runs, took it out of a save situation. So Terry Matthews on to try to finish this one up. Has been in this role before, as he has finished 7 ball games this year. There you see Randy Myers. He is back down on the bench in the Oriole bullpen. He will look on and see if Terry Matthews can get the job done. If the Phillies can get something going, they may see Mr. Myers up and throwing again.
Rob Butler will start it off. Butler is 1 for 4 at .298. Trying to get something started. Let's load him up for rolling.
That'd work.
Not a bad plan.
Can't make any outs between now and then, though, if you're going to do it.
Okay.
Okay, what's plan B?
Mickey Morandini will bat. Mickey's walked twice and not going to run with a sacrifice fly as the sun begins to descend behind the third deck here at Oriole Park. Matthews' career has been resurrected. Signed a minor league contract and has allowed just 1 earned run in his last 9 outings. And is 7th among American League relievers, batting average against at .206. To left center field. Base hit Morandini. So Mickey's on base for the 3rd time with a single the opposite way.
The Phillies in need of base runners. Morandini gets his way on base. That gets Randy Myers back up in the bullpen. So the period of rest and relaxation for Randy Myers was a short one, as Morandini lines a single to left field and gets Randy back on his feet.
I don't think Scott would face Terry Matthews unless Dalton's out number 2. Darren taking all the way. Darren has hit 4 fly balls on the day, 2 to right and 2 to left. It would become a save situation with 2 runners on board.
And if indeed Davey Johnson is not going to use Myers unless it is a save situation, he would not pull the trigger until the Phillies get 1 more base runner. Phillies, of course, would at this point like to have to face that challenge. The sooner the better.
1 and 2. Like Webster wants a change away. It is. Could be 2. There's 1. Could hustle Darren Dalton to keep the ball game alive. Not really a double play ball, as it took the extra hop, but the quick turn by Alomar gave him a chance.
Yeah, Rebele played this ball a little defensively as he played it softly and backed up just a little bit. Alomar with the quick pivot at second, but it just took too much time for that play to develop for them to be able to turn the double play and get Dalton at first base to end the ball game. So Dutch say 2-out base runner at first base. Robbie Alomar can do a lot of things, but he can't make a double play any quicker than he can make it. He's about as quick as they come, but couldn't turn that one.
Strike call to Scott Rowland, who has his second career 2-home run game. Here, though, just trying to get on base and keep the game alive. One and one. Matthews has finished 7 ball games, but has no saves. Myers has 31 games finished and 26 saves. Dalton goes. He'll have to make a UB and come on back. It's 1-2 on Scott Rowland. Now the crowd will rise.
See the Oriole mascot on top of the Phillies dugout, got his broom in hand, trying to entice the crowd. The Orioles get the last out, sweep this series from the Phillies. They are responding as they stand here at Camden Yards. Have to wait just a little longer.
Orioles were swept in 4 games here by Toronto immediately prior to the Phillies coming in. Two and two to Scott Rowland. So Dalton will be breaking. The 3-2 pitch to Rowland. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the Orioles have swept the Phillies. They got 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th to close out the series on a perfect day for Robbie Alomar. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. We'll come back and wrap.
Rails to the river! A morning country train ride upstream. Then canoe down the Brandywine River. Northbrook Canoe presents Rails to the River. Rails to the River departs Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9:30. For reservations or directions, call Northbrook Canoe at 793-2279.
Do you need your home or office cleaned? Then call Swift Brothers. They do it all. Carpet and upholstery cleaning, wall and window washing, floor waxing, and they specialize in fire and water damage restoration. Call Swift Brothers now for your home or office cleaning needs.
Having electrical problems? Call Gambino Electrical Contractors anytime, day or night, 7 days a week. Call now and receive a free home electrical inspection with any scheduled job over $200. Call now 610-277-6954 or 215-563-5466.
Do whatever it takes.
Small cars used to drive like this. Then a big change came along. The all-new 97 Ford Escort. It's got a bigger engine with more horsepower than Civic, a sport suspension you can't get on Cavalier, plus big car room and a 4-speed automatic Neon doesn't even offer. Now get Escort with $1,000 cash back or 1.9 financing. That's $1,000 cash back or finance for 1.9% for 48 months and own what's new. Ford Escort, only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Hurry to Sears, where all tires are on sale. All sizes, all brands.
Roll me east, roll me west.
Sears Auto Center. Sale ends Saturday.
Well, the Phillies out-homer the Orioles 4-3, but are outscored 10-6 to close out this lost week away from Veterans Stadium. Ball game was tied at 4 when the game turned in the 7th inning. Bases loaded. Our Budweiser play of the day.
And Jeff Rebelay comes to the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. Delivers this line drive into right center field, just in front of a diving Rob Butler. Scores the first 3 of the 4 runs that the Orioles scored in that inning. That opened the ball game up, made it 8-4. Eventually, the Orioles go on to win the game by a score of 10-6.
And the final out, courtesy of Terry Matthews, on a 3-2 pitch. They got past Scott Rowland, despite the 2 home runs. And Robbie Alomar, who showed you the glove, the bat, the wheels, and more on a perfect afternoon. We'll wrap this one up next.